I think it's that I look at my whole life and I see the awful, terrible things in my life and turn it into something funny.
It's time to start the show. The gang is ready. Let's go. Jim and Sam. Jim and Sam. Jim and Sam.
It's happening, you guys. It's happening. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wish you all were here.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts. Oh no, let's go. Let's go crazy. Let's get nuts.
You know what that means. Oh, welcome to the asylum. This is so stupid. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Jim isn't here. He's in Los Angeles doing something. I don't know what he's shooting, but he's shooting something in Los Angeles, so he won't be here today. However, there's so much to talk about. It's a lot going on this weekend. Triple G and Canelo and the Emmys and Kevin Hart getting his dick wet everywhere and all kinds of stuff. So we'll get into all of it. Andrew Schultz will be here. Maury Povich is coming in. I can't believe it's Povich, right? It's not Polovich. I always put an L in his name.
There's no L.
I don't know why. I kept saying that yesterday. Povich. That's not his name.
That's not even close.
No, it's Povich. Povich. But I can't believe he's coming in to promote his new season of the Maury Show, and it is still it's still doing exactly what it was doing. I think this is the first week of this season. I don't know, it's season 19 or season 20 or something like that. And 3 of the 5 shows this week are paternity tests. 3. First week back, 3/5 of the shows in the first week are paternity tests. That's what he's doing. Paternity. I love when I find people that are sticking by this if it ain't broke, don't fix it formula. And they just keep doing the same thing. I mean, you talk about beating a dead horse. I love it. Because that's still the Maury testing to find out who the father is. That horse is not dead. It's beaten badly. It can't race anymore. But it's not dead. It's still neighing a little bit.
Everybody loves a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. They love watching black guys dance when they find out they're not the father. Like, that's all they're going for. Oh, I told you. And then the girl goes off crying, and Maury has to go and console her. Like, oh, it's okay. I don't understand how, you can still have faith in humanity after doing that show for as long as he's been doing it. The guy's 78 years old. He's 78. And he's spending his days, testing people. And there's so many of them. Unless it's all fake. I'll ask him. But unless it's all fake, if it's not completely fixed, then he spends all his time finding people. There's enough people in the world looking for paternity tests that he can do 3 of the 5 shows of his first week back on just that. Which means that you can assume throughout the season, which is Lord knows how long, there's going to be a lot of it. So I can't wait to talk to Maury. I was very involved this weekend with everything that was going on. I felt like I was well informed. I went to see that movie Mother that people did not like over the weekend. It didn't make a lot of money. And the theater that I went to was pretty well empty, so that wasn't a surprise. I went at Friday or Saturday at 6:30. And it was kind of early, but it's still Saturday. And the theater was probably 20% full. But it's the Jennifer Lawrence movie. And I felt so stupid after it. I don't like movies that are so kind of nuanced and so based in metaphor that you really have to devour them. You really have to spend time thinking about them. I want movies that are kind of presented to me just as they are, a little bit. You can have a little conversation about it, like Baby Driver. You go and see Baby Driver. It's a guy. He's great at driving. He likes to listen to his iPod, and that's the whole thing. I love that because you leave the movie, and Travis, what's the conversation? Oh, how cool is that? It was cool, right?
Did you see when he did that thing?
Exactly.
He's so cool.
So cool. That's why I go to all those Fast and the Furious movies too. But I left Mother, and my wife was like, so what did you think it was about? And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I didn't really know. I think now, I watched a few YouTube videos yesterday, and so now I have a pretty good idea.
You were hoping to ask her first.
Yeah.
Get her answer and be like, yep, me too.
Yeah, because I don't want to be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it right now. I have to spend some time with it.
I don't get it.
I don't understand right now. I got it like a little bit, but I guess it's a whole God metaphor. The whole thing. Have you heard anything about it, Travis?
No, and I think that's the problem, is that it was marketed terribly.
Well,
Nobody knows what it is.
You can't. Here's the thing. You can't market that. I'm going to give a spoiler because nobody's going to see this movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing
You know why you can't market this movie? Because they kill a baby in it. Like, you can't have a movie where you just kill a baby in the movie.
No dead babies in Baby Driver.
No dead babies. Like, you just watch them kill a baby. And I was like, I don't know if I want to watch a baby getting killed in a movie. This is fucked up. I got really, like, at that point, I watch horror movies all the time. I've seen all the Saw movies. I watch all, like, the low-budget horror movies that just come out on, like, iTunes and Netflix. I watch all of them. I love them. I don't have any problem with gore. I saw all the Hostel movies. I watch all those movies. But I don't recall ever watching a baby get killed in a movie. And they just, like, you're just watching this movie, and you think, when the baby's there, you go like, oh, the baby's probably, this isn't the right environment for a baby, let's just say. But you think like the camera's going to pan away, right? And go to like somebody else's face, and they'll scream in horror, and the idea that this baby's dead will be there, right? But no, you just watch them kill the baby. And I'm like, what?
How do they kill the baby?
You really want to know?
Yeah, I'm not going to see it.
They break its neck. What? It is so fucked.
But they pan away.
No.
Oh.
No, there's even a little sound. It is so fucked.
It's a little sound.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like the loudest thing because the bones are so brittle.
Right. It's a little baby neck.
By the way, the baby, it's a day old.
Oh.
And then it's just like you just watch this. So, all right, it's spoilers. But again, nobody's going to watch this movie. They break the baby's neck.
I think a lot of people will end up watching it because they're hearing how bad it is.
Like,
or how much people don't like it.
Right. Like, I was sitting there, like, watching this movie going, like, this is fucked. Obviously, you go, like, well, it's based in metaphor, so it's art. It's not actually a baby dying. And you go, well, yeah, I know, but I'm looking at a baby and the baby's dead. And I was sitting there like, okay, if I'm having trouble with this row of middle-aged women in front of me are really not going to like this movie. It's like they all saw like Silver Linings Playbook and just think Jennifer Lawrence is just the bee's knees.
Oh, I love her.
Exactly. No, they're not going to enjoy this at all.
Let's go see the movie she did with her boyfriend.
And that's what you get when like this movie's ending. Like the lights come on and it's all the women go, well, that was terrible. That was awful. I don't know what that was, but no. And like I heard one of them going like, well, was it? It wasn't biblical, that's for sure. There was nothing about the Bible in that. It's like, I think it was. But yeah, you watch, and then you know what they do after they kill the baby?
Hopefully cry.
No, they eat the baby.
What?
It's so fucking
That's
weird.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something after you kill the baby,
right? And you know, I suppose it's a reference to Jesus, right? You isn't that what you do when you're eating crackers in church? It's supposed to be the flesh of Jesus, right? And wine is supposed to be the blood of Jesus. But you don't actually... Or cannibalism. You don't actually see them eat little baby Jesus. Plus, when they ate Jesus, he was older, right? You don't eat baby Jesus.
Physically actually eat Jesus.
Did anybody eat him?
It's just a metaphor.
Oh, so there's no actual...
Nobody ate Jesus.
I don't know a ton about church, but I thought that maybe when they eat the crackers and drink the wine, they were like, oh, remember back when we actually ate Jesus?
No,
like
it symbolizes crucifixion.
Oh, they didn't eat him. They crucified him.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So really, like, they could have crucified the baby. They didn't have to eat the baby in the movie.
I mean, if they're going to be technical, sure.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even
you don't want the baby to suffer for that long.
No, I guess not. But now it's been 2 days and I can't get it out of my head.
Just easier to snap its neck.
Yeah, no, it's definitely easier.
Troy's got a point. Because it's baby neck.
I mean, it was really fucked. They had like the baby was crowd surfing.
What?
Dude, it is such a fucking strange movie. But the baby was crowd surfing, and then they broke its neck. And I was like, what? No.
Was there a sign posted, no crowd surfing?
No, nobody posted.
That could be why.
Yeah.
I've been to shows where you're not supposed to crowd surf.
This is going to be like one of those incidents at Disney World where they go like, we better post a sign.
Yeah.
Crocodiles in the water. It's Florida. Yeah, no, I was like, couldn't they just, like, it's all metaphor. Just make the house eat the baby or something. Like, you don't actually have to do that. And then I was watching this interview with Darren Aronofsky, who did this movie. And he was like, well, you just want the audience to have a reaction. You just want a reaction to art. But at some point, like, doesn't stuff get cheap? Like, that's like when they made the Piss Christ. And they're like, yeah, but people are reacting to it. Well, of course. It's piss on a piece of paper that looks like Jesus. Of course people are going to react to that. That doesn't, you haven't really, like, explored your soul to get that reaction. You haven't really drawn something out in somebody. You're just showing them something horribly shocking, and they're reacting to it, right? It's not that crazy. I mean, I think if you break a baby, if you kill a baby in a movie, you're not like, oh man, how'd they get that reaction out of him? It's like, yeah, anybody could have gotten that reaction, but most people just don't want to kill a baby, right? It's fucked. Really kind of, I was going with it. I was like, okay, I'm going to explore the metaphor a little bit. I was feeling like a film student. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to treat this like an art house movie, And I'm going to see, like, okay, so this means that. Oh, so the reason that the walls are painted yellow is because of this, which I don't know why. There's got to be some reason, but I don't know why. But, oh, this means that, and Javier Bardem is really this guy, and da-da-da. And then they kill the baby, and I'm like, okay, I might be out. I don't know if I can keep, like, analyzing this thing. I had to tell, like, Jess realized it was coming, so she was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I was like, good idea. And this is when the baby was crowd surfing, and I just had to text her while she was in the bathroom. I was like, just stay outside for a little while. Just don't come back. Don't come back. Especially when there's a 6-month-old with a babysitter at home. Like, stay outside for a little bit.
Was the baby alive when it was crowd surfing?
Yeah.
Oh, then it died after that.
They broke its neck.
Yeah.
And then they ate it.
Ugh.
I mean, it's the last thing I need to see. It's Saturday night, you know what I mean?
Did they show you show it chopping it up?
They didn't even use a knife, dude.
They just took bites out of it?
Ripped it.
That's not sanitary.
No, it's not sanitary at all. Everybody, like, licking their fingers, going back for a second. It was really not sanitary.
Germs everywhere.
So gross and germy. Yeah, no. Vin Diesel wasn't even in this movie. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm like, what is this? Jason in Minnesota, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Hey, how's it going, Sam?
Good.
That's good. Hey, Trap Dog. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Troy.
I want to know why, Troy, come on, what the fuck? No, Trev, I want to know why you're not going to go see Mother.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the demo that
Right.
you're looking for.
Right. Travis hasn't seen Mother in quite some time.
Yeah.
It just came out this weekend.
I've been
it's
avoiding
years.
Mother for 16 years.
All right,
Hey, guys, have a
Jason.
good day.
Yeah.
Good Monday.
Yeah. Jason saw Mother. I'm sorry, Travis saw Mother, and he was like, okay, that's the second worst Mother I've ever seen.
That was bad, but, I mean, you have no idea.
No, it gets worse. It gets worse. Sometimes they do shit like that to you when you're in your 20s. But yeah, I was kind of caught off guard.
Yeah, I think
By the
that's
whole
what
thing.
a lot of people were. Because it did well. Like, it's got like 68% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Like, the critics like it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just didn't know what it was.
Dude, people just want to go to a movie. I mean, people have been conditioned. People have been conditioned that when you go to the movies, it's going to be some incarnation of the Avengers. Most movies are just, it's like the Avengers. It's fun, it's fast-paced, it's this and that. And Darren Aronofsky has gotten to this point where he can do whatever he wants because he did The Wrestler, he did Black Swan, he did Requiem for a Dream. Like, he's done all this stuff, The Wrestler and Black Swan specifically, that have won awards. And once you win a couple of awards, the next couple films you do, you can do whatever you want. So people just see this movie in theaters, and they're like, oh, This must be like a fun horror movie because that's how they're advertising it, right? Like it's a thriller. It's not a thriller. Fucking crazy movie. It's crazy. Let's go to Chris in Massachusetts. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Good.
Crab dog? Woof, woof, woof. No, I just wanted to make sure Uncle Paul wasn't babysitting your kid, right?
No, Uncle Paul was not babysitting my kid. Uncle Paul is a fictional pedophile character that Jim Norton does. No, he was not babysitting anybody.
Okay, could have fooled me.
All right, buddy, I'll talk to you later. I don't know what he's talking about.
Was Ed Harris good?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was
It's the Man in Black.
good in it. Yeah, so he's the Man in Black in Westworld, right?
Yeah.
You know what his role was in this movie?
Man.
Yeah. He just...
That's how I know I'm not even going to like the movie.
They just don't give Ed Harris names anymore.
Mother, him, man.
Nobody had any names.
No, fuck that.
Nobody had any names.
No.
And then Kristen Wiig shows up, like, in the last part of the movie.
That's cool. What skit did she do?
I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck is Kristen Wiig doing here? She's not doing a funny voice. I thought she was like, hey, I'm here. Everybody, don't worry. And she's got those little arms or something, but nothing. Nothing.
Like, that's fine, like, if I'm going to see, like a David Lynch movie. Like, I know what I'm getting myself into.
Right.
But not this.
That's the issue. That's the problem, that people are gonna go and they're not gonna realize that it's this weird thing. I think even David Lynch, like even when Mulholland Drive came out, people that knew David Lynch knew what to expect. But when you put that's who were we talking to in here recently about TV shows versus movies? And we were talking about just that thing, that when you have a movie that's in theaters, you have certain expectations. People think that when they go to a movie theater, they're going to have this experience. They don't know who the director is. They don't know who this is. They see Jennifer Lawrence on a poster and Javier Bardem, and they're like, oh, beautiful people, a scary movie. Ooh, this is going to be a fun date night. And you end up with this, you know? I think that it's tough to do weird movies anymore.
Yeah.
Because people are used to a specific set of just rules.
It's also tough to do a weird movie with arguably the biggest actress in Hollywood, you know? Because a lot of people are just going to see it because it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Right.
And I kind of like that it's bombing.
That's where the expectations come in. It's not going to do any better.
I like that.
It's not, and it's so funny, too, because you look at it. It is just a traditional horror movie, and it made another $60 million. It's made something like $200 million so far. And then this weird thing does $7 million. It's not, it probably won't make back its $30 million budget.
No, especially after this weekend.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's not, it's just such a, it's such a weird thing. It's one of those movies, sometimes these movie makers, they go out and they decide to just make movies for themselves. They stop thinking about, like, okay, this is a thing that I want to share with people. This is a thing that I want to sell tickets to. That's the point of making movies, right? Sorry, is to sell tickets. And so instead of doing that, because they don't have to sell tickets anymore, because now they're trusted as this great artist, they think that whatever weirdness they put out, people will go see. And, you know, Darren Aronofsky, like, if you're going to put this movie out, maybe without a giant star, maybe not in theaters, put it out like on iTunes and be like, hey, just so you know, there's a dead baby in this movie. Like, you know?
Hey, I did this dead baby movie if you want to see it.
But
it's
not
on iTunes.
Yeah. not the Saturday night. That's the thing that bugs me. Like, I understand, let's not let the trailer give too much away. Let's make it a little bit of mystery about this movie. I don't want everybody to know exactly what they're going to see. And that's fine. I don't mind that. Oh, what's this going to be like? But then when you throw some shit like that at me, I'm like, a little heads up would have been nice. That's the type of thing that is so specific. That specifically, people want a little heads up over that. Troy, like, wouldn't you want to know, like, hey, maybe I don't expressly say dead baby alert. Maybe there should be a dead baby alert before a movie with a dead baby in it. But just something like, hey, it's this type of movie.
Maybe that'll inspire one, like the Amber Alert.
Right. There's a dead baby alert.
Yeah,
a fake dead baby alert.
Yeah, a little heads up would be nice for something like that.
Because you're a single guy.
Yeah.
You bring girls out on dates every now and then.
Not to movies, though.
Too expensive?
No, I just don't like movies.
Oh. But if you were to bring a girl to a movie, right? Say you're in high school. Like, these kids are in high school.
Yeah.
You're going to bring a girl to a scary movie, right?
Sure.
Girls like Jennifer Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in a theater like this and the girl just looks at you like, what the fuck did you take me to?
Yeah.
Is this what you like? Is this what you do? In your free time, these are the movies that you go to? It's not good. I can understand why people are pissed coming out of this thing.
I don't like scary movies, so I wouldn't go anyway.
You don't like scary movies at all?
Not at all.
What scary movie made it so that you were like, no, I don't want any of this in my life?
Pet Cemetery.
Too much.
That was it.
Because you're like all these dead animals running around. No.
And the kid getting hit by the truck. Fuck that.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that was the one that did it, and I don't need this in my life. Life is scary enough as it is.
Right.
Just every day.
Right. I don't need this.
Nope.
I know that bad things can happen.
Yes.
I don't need to see them in front of my face.
That's right.
I see. Are you actually afraid of pet cemeteries?
No, but I mean, you see them and you flash back to that, and you're like, oh, geez.
Right. You remember the film.
Yeah.
How old were you when you saw it?
I don't know. It was, whatever, like late 80s. Maybe.
So you saw it in theater?
No, I saw it at home.
But you're a kid.
Yeah.
Do you think now that you're, a man of a certain age, you might be able to handle it a little better?
I don't. I know this sounds weird.
Yeah.
I just don't want any of that in my head.
Right. But you don't mind Insane Clown Posse talking about being clowns with hatchets and whatnot?
No, I mean, that's just silly.
Oh, I see.
And that's more comical to me.
Right.
Yeah, but I'll never.
When you see the visual and it's happening, you're like, I don't need this in my life.
Yeah.
I get it. Let's go to Rogan in Washington, D.C. What's up, Rogan?
How you doing, Sam?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So I was just saying there's a website called doesthedogdie.com, and you can find out if a dog dies in a movie. So you should just create something called doesthebabydie.com.
That's a great idea.
I think that is a great idea. I really want to create that website and just have like, no, yes. Like, look who's talking. No. Look who's talking too. No. 3 men and a baby. No dead baby in that one. Mother. Yes. Dead baby. Yes. Definitely a dead baby. Yeah, because
gruesome dead baby.
This could start a terrible trend. I don't see any movies, the way Troy doesn't see scary movies, I don't see any movies with dogs in them. Because every movie with a dog in it, the dog
once
dies.
I knew that what happened in Marley and Me, I was like, fuck
that.
Watching that movie.
Not gonna happen. I don't know. I won't even watch Homeward Bound because I'm pretty sure the dog dies at the end. Like, I do not watch movies with dogs in them because dogs have short lives. So what do you think is going to happen to this dog? It's a dog's life is the perfect length for a movie. What was that movie that came out over the summer where it was like the dog dies 17 times in it?
Oh, yeah. With
A
Josh
Dog's
Gad.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with that movie. I'm not
The
watching.
whole premise is based on dogs dying.
And they're like, no, but it's okay because the dog gets reincarnated. And you're like, no, because if you see it get reincarnated, you got to live through it dying over and over again. And I'm going to take a wild guess. I didn't see this thing, but I'm gonna guess that the movie doesn't end with one final incarnation. I'm going to take a wild guess that the movie probably ends with a dead dog. So, hey, Rogan, I'm gonna take your advice.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, make the
Thank
website.
you, buddy. Yeah,
Sort yes. Oh, mother.
mother. Yeah. So far, I just have the one. I wonder if there are there other movies where babies die. Babies don't die that often in movies.
I was looking at how many movies dogs die in.
All of them. Every movie there's a dog in.
I mean, I'm sure there's lots of horror movies where the baby does die, but it's not,
You don't see it.
Yeah, and it's kind of, okay, I expect that. Okay,
Right.
Fine. It's a horror movie.
I knew when Jennifer Lawrence got pregnant in this movie Mother, I went, oh shit. Because it was just, the movie was just an uncomfortable thing. Like it was designed to make the audience uncomfortable. And so as soon as she got pregnant, I was like, this is not going to end well. This is not going to, no. Jason in Charleston, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Sam.
Hey, man.
Hey, don't forget, she also came out like 2 weeks ago, or right around when Hurricane Irma hit, said that if Florida didn't vote for Trump, the hurricane wouldn't have hit them.
Maybe that's why her fake movie baby died.
Well, there was an active push on Twitter to boicott all her films. So.
Well, guess what? Twitter doesn't have to worry about that. You don't. Sometimes.
Hey, one quick thing.
Yeah.
Can I get Anthony's bet for tonight? Because I'd like to make some cash. I want to take the opposite.
Well, I want to talk to Anthony in a little bit because I want to find out, because this was a big gambling weekend. There was a lot of football. There was Triple G versus Canelo. And I mean, when you talk about gambling with the boxing fight over the weekend, no one made money off that fight except Vegas. And that was because of some judges. So
Yeah.
So I'll talk to him in a little bit because I want to find out. I want to find out how badly he's hurting, because there's no way he walks in here in the black today. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Thank you,
man.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I guess she did say something. I don't think she literally said, "Hey."
No, she was joking.
Florida, if you hadn't voted for Trump, she was joking.
It was sarcasm.
Right. Stupid, but
yeah, but
I also this
on both sides now. Nobody gets sarcasm.
No, because what? Who was that joke at the expense of? I would say this is a great case of letting the market dictate. There was no reason to boycott Jennifer Lawrence's movie because nobody wanted to see it anyway. So why bother? Her baby dies in it. Let's go to Garth in Virginia. What's up, Garth?
What's going on, fellas? Train spotting. Dead baby. Crawls on the ceiling. Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I guess that's okay. That's two. That's two for my website.
That makes two.
Yeah.
It's a good website.
But you don't actually, thank you, buddy. First of all, train spotting is done with those charming accents, so it's okay. But it's not gruesome, and it's not done just to viscerally upset people. I don't think. It's not done because they're like, oh, this will really disturb the audience. You should, like, when you look to disturb an audience, it should be one of those things that, like, I don't know, you don't hit the nail right on the head. You know what I mean? You go for something that, like, oh man, I didn't even know that would bother me, but for some reason it bothers me, or oh man, that really makes me think. Not like, hey, you ever see a baby get killed? No, of course that's gonna
check this out.
Yeah, like, of course that's gonna upset me. That's like if somebody did the Mona Lisa paint by numbers, and they're like, look, but it's beautiful, right? And you're like, yeah, you did a great job, but anybody could do it. It's not. I can't give you credit for tracing. That, to me, doing this in Mother is like the equivalent of tracing.
Like, it's not creative.
No.
It's not a creative way to disturb you.
Right. Like, I get
that.
I get what you were going for, but you went for the lowest common denominator. You were like, oh, what's the thing that you would like to see the least? And you're like, I guess, I don't know, a baby getting its neck broken? And he's like, oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah, I got a movie for you.
And then, like, 2 weeks later, he's like, I bet I can make you upset. Really? Yeah, check this. Yeah, of course.
Did you see Bone Tomahawk?
No, what's Bone Tomahawk?
It's a movie that came out a couple of years ago.
I thought that was your Native American boyfriend's name.
No, that's what I do.
Oh.
There's a disturbing scene in that. And it's a scene that you never would see coming. And that's why it's so good. I really suggest you watch Bone Tomahawk. You would like it.
Right. But you don't see it coming, and does it make sense?
Yeah, not only does it make sense, but it's like that is probably the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
Right.
But it's great because you weren't expecting it. And even if you were expecting it, you weren't expecting it to happen like that.
As opposed to just being...
I don't want to give anything away, but because it's literally one of the best things I've ever seen.
Right.
And it's so disturbing. But as opposed to, hey, let's just kill a baby.
Right. As opposed to, like, if I shout at you for 2 hours, I'll bet you'd be stressed out. Like, that's what it felt like. Yeah. Hey! It's like, yeah, stop.
Yeah, you should see Bone Tomahawk.
I'll tell you. Who's in it?
Matthew Fox.
From Party of Five?
Yeah. Kurt
Russell?
Kurt Russell.
Richard Jenkins.
It's a slow-burning Western suspense movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll take a look. Let's go to Brandon in Minnesota. Brandon, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Hi, Sammy. How are you?
I'm good, Brandon. How are you?
I'm good. Travis Dog.
Troy, would you join this caller, please?
Arf.
Yeah.
Do you know how many arfs I got on Instagram and Twitter this weekend?
So gross.
Not the normal oof 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 or woof woof. Just arf. Let's take it off.
Just a single arf. It's just sexual, and I think I prefer the dead baby to Troy's arf, to tell you the truth. That would have been great if they were like, oh, the baby's gone. What's going to happen to the baby? And then Troy's face just shows up on screen and goes, arf. Ah! Yeah.
Okay, so in Titanic, when they're panning the like ocean where everybody's frozen to death and everything like that, there is a dead baby that they show.
No way. I thought women and children got off the boat.
I know.
Oh, he got off the boat.
Dead baby.
So there's just a frozen dead baby in the ocean?
Yeah, with its mom.
my
I also
God.
wanted to, not to change the subject, but Bobby Heenan obviously died, and I'm really sad about that, so I wanted to leave you with a quote from Bobby Heenan. He says, "You win some and you lose some. Unless you're Virgil, then you lose them all."
That's great. That's great. I saw that quote. I was so happy. Thank you, my friend. I was so happy. Bobby the Brain, well, I was so happy that quote went everywhere. I was saddened to hear that Bobby the Brain Heenan died last night or yesterday, but I was so happy that Virgil quote started going places on Twitter. Let's go to Kevin in New York. What's up, Kevin?
What's up, Sam? What's up, Trav Dog? Hey, we got to go back. I don't know if there was actually a baby died in this one, but Tippy Tom's favorite movie, Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, but Sophie's Choice, it's like if you're going to a Nazi movie that's not like a Quentin Tarantino Nazi movie, but actually like a 1990s like tearjerker Nazi movie, then you have to understand like you're going to leave feeling like total garbage. You know, that's almost an agreement that you make. Like if you buy a ticket to Sophie's Choice or if you buy a ticket to Schindler's List or one of these movies, then you're like, this is really going to be an unpleasant evening. You know what I mean? And you're kind of agreeing to it as opposed to, man, I don't know what this crazy Jennifer Lawrence movie is all about, but I'm going to check it. Oh my God, no!
Yeah, but Tippy Tom's interpretation of it was the best recording ever.
So good. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, just Tippy Tom, our homeless friend, watching the scene in Sophie's Choice. He was drunk with no emotion. He didn't even know where he was. But the minute that scene came on, oh, did he lose it? The power of cinema. Let's go to Nick in New York. What's up, Nick?
What's going on, Sam? A scene that completely shocked me was in Gone Baby Gone when they're going through the pedophile's house and they see the dead baby or the dead child in the bathtub. That I didn't see coming at all, and that still I can't watch that.
Awful. Just, I mean, these days, even when you put pregnant women in a suspenseful movie, I'm like, what are you doing? Just stop killing babies in movies. Like, just, get there without it, you know?
Isn't that just something? Aren't we so desensitized, though, that
you
that's
just
what
have
it takes,
to.
That's what it's going to take now to shock people?
But you think that, isn't that pushing it even further? Like, okay, we're desensitized to the point where we need to show this now. There was a time when, like, you would never show that. It'd be like this, there'd be outrage for showing that. Not like, oh, we got to push the boundaries.
Yeah, but I mean, you can just go on your computer and watch ISIS beheading videos.
Okay, well, if you want to do that, then go and do it. You know, like, leave the movies to me. Like, go watch it. If you need that kind of graphic, gratuitous gore, go on your websites.
I mean, we just turn on Facebook when something crazy happens and you can see people getting killed in your feed.
Not my feed. I silenced those motherfuckers.
That's good.
No way. They're not going to invade my space. So you don't watch scary movies, but you've seen...
No, I hate that. I don't watch those videos.
Right. Ron in Baltimore.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, man.
Good, good. Hey, first off, I want to say, man, Pauly Shore looks really awesome shape, man, on Jim's Instagram last night. Man.
I saw a photo of Jim Norton and Pauly Shore, and well, let's just say I don't believe you because the comments that were being left about Pauly Shore are usually the comments that are left about me, which are less than flattering. So it says old Pauly Shore looks like young Richard Simmons. Did you find him in the dumpster behind the joint? Ladies, watch your drinks. He looks like shit. Yikes. And then one guy at the end goes, man, you guys are all fucking dicks. Which is true.
Was that at Pauly Shore?
Huh?
That baby thing, man. That baby.
Yeah. Go on, buddy.
Yeah. I'll cut it. I know you got to go. But, one of the earliest seasons of The Walking Dead when the show was still pretty damn raw and pretty hardcore, there was a scene, I think, where Rick goes into a house and he sees the dead mom shot in the head, the dead daughter shot in the head, and then he sees a baby in a crib shot in the head. and then like the father had done it because him blew his head off. So,
yeah, but
like,
you know what?
Killed the whole family.
First of all, that was when The Walking Dead was good. Thank you. And second of all, I don't mind zombie babies dying. If it's a zombie baby, kill them all. I would kill a zombie baby. That I have no problem with. I think in The Walking Dead, they kill zombie babies and zombie kids. That's not an issue. This wasn't a zombie baby in the movie that I saw over the weekend. Not a zombie baby. Let's go to Corey in Pennsylvania. What's up, Corey?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, the butterfly effect. The mother and baby got killed at the mailbox by the pipe bomb.
I mean, you talk about a movie where, you know, gratuitous stuff is shown because there is no emotion to it whatsoever. The butterfly effect is just like, it's laughably bad. And then they just throw in like pedophile stuff and dead kid stuff. So it's like, oh, this is a serious movie. It's not.
And they burned a dog. And they burned a dog.
And they burned a dog. They just try to throw whatever shit that they can throw at you to trick you into not thinking that this is a ridiculous Ashton Kutcher movie. I don't know how long I want to talk about babies that die in movies. Let's go to Garrison in Wisconsin. What's up, Garrison?
Hey, Sammy. Why? If they want to be civilized about it, why don't they just have them at an abortion clinic if they're going to kill babies? I mean,
well, that is civilized, isn't it? That's like,
you know, like Dirty Dancing, or you know, there's plenty of movies. Cider House Rules.
I feel like
plenty of them with abortions in them. So.
I feel like you're making a joke, but at the same time pushing your pro-life agenda.
I'm just saying.
Okay. That's what he's doing, isn't it? Isn't it?
He's got a point.
Yeah, it is a point.
Those are dead babies.
Yeah, well, that's an argument, right? They can't cry.
No, they're definitely dead babies.
Well, at what point are they getting aborted? Because some people would say that's not a baby, that's a fetus.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there going like, do you care about dead fetuses? A lot of people, not so much.
All right, so there's your offshoot website, Does the Fetus Die?
Steve in New York.
Hey, guys.
Hey, man.
Disney's movie Up.
Yeah,
that's one of the saddest dead baby scenes ever. And you talk about a movie where there is no reason for it, where you're just sitting there like, you talk about getting like the taste slapped out of your mouth when you sit down in the theater. Like, what? I thought I was watching a fun cartoon about an old man with balloons. What happens in this movie?
Yeah, they could have told that whole like early story without the dead baby.
They didn't need the dead baby.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just, because she dies.
But here's what Disney does. They're like, you know what separates us from DreamWorks? What? Dead babies.
Dead babies.
Yeah, like
that's what John Lasseter says in all the meetings. We're a dead baby company here at Pixar.
Yeah. He's like, what are we making? Cars 3? Or is it running over a baby? Because there's got to be something here. Right now, we got Blue Sky, we got DreamWorks, we got all these companies on our tails. We need to be killing babies in these movies.
I heard that's the premise for Toy Story 4.
What, the baby chokes on one of the toys?
All the toys are just going to kill babies.
That's awesome. See, I would watch that movie. And it's a fun cartoon, you know? It's great.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are in it.
Yeah. It's awesome. Speaking of Hollywood, I had to turn off the Emmy Awards last night. Travis, did you watch the Emmys?
Yeah, it was not good.
It was so, like...
It was boring and just not...
And it was, you talk about a one-trick pony show.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. Nobody in the room likes Trump. Understood. He's a bad guy. Like, every joke. And then it was almost getting to the point of bullying. They get Sean Spicer out there. And and they have him do a skit, right? The only person in the room that Stephen Colbert or any of the presenters will actually make fun of is Sean Spicer. It's almost like the whole room is like, look at that fucking asshole. Like, because you worked for Trump, if you want to be allowed back into society, you have to let all us room of Hollywood people, we all have to point and laugh at you now. And nobody's allowed to laugh at us. That's why Ricky Gervais wasn't invited back. No, he can't come here. No. We need Colbert so we can all sit there and celebrate diversity and laugh at Trump jokes.
I read he was loving it, though.
Colbert?
No, Sean Spicer. like backstage, because everybody wanted a photo with him. Everybody wanted to talk to him.
Of course, because now apparently he's not this like evil Nazi Hitler communicator anymore.
Yeah, no, everything's forgiven.
He's just this lovable guy. If Trump and everything he symbolizes is so evil and so bad and so fascist and Antifa and all this stuff, then how come Sean Spicer is like the court jester all of a sudden?
I did think it was funny, though.
I thought it was funny when he came out. I was laughing.
I 100% was not expecting that.
No, me neither. His
it worked
timing,
and yeah, it was not good.
His timing wasn't great. He did not let the laugh sit at all.
Yeah,
did
like let it die.
Right. Like
enjoy your moment.
He didn't get to. He really rushed through it. We have a little clip of it actually. This is from the Emmys last night.
Hope we achieve that tonight. Unfortunately, at this point, we have no way of knowing how big our audience is. But is there anyone who could say how big the audience is? Sean, do you know?
They make him wheel out a podium.
This will be the largest audience to witness an Emmys, period. Both in person and around the world. Wow, that really soothes my fragile ego.
It was funny.
I did like the reactions.
He did, yeah, the Hollywood reactions were funny. He blew the line. He did blow it a little bit. Because he realized, he started it halfway, and then he realized that people were still laughing just at the fact that he was there at all. People were still kind of getting it. And then he didn't repeat, he should have waited.
Let the moment sit.
He should have waited. But I was grossed out by everybody that thought he was such a villain for so long that now just think oh, there's Sean Spicer doing the Sean Spicer stuff. That's so much fun. Oh, that's so great. And oh my God, I mean, I know that's what the award shows are all about, but patting themselves on the back, I think this was one of the worst years for it. Just everybody going up there and saying that you know, the times we live in are crazy, but thank God for television. Oh, it's the stuff that we do. So many people were getting up there and just talking about themselves like they were all heroes. Oh, thank God for Alec Baldwin.
You didn't think that was over the top?
Thank God for Alec Baldwin. By the way, Alec Baldwin, the only white guy who won an award was Alec Baldwin, right?
It was very diverse last night.
It was very, very diverse. Did we mention that we've made history again? Yes, yes. Every single award was history. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody. I'm really glad that Donald Glover won the awards that he won.
Yeah, he's great.
Atlanta is such a good show. I love it. I love that show, and I think I was happy he won director. I was happy he won actor. So that's not what it's about. And maybe it's because I haven't seen some of these shows. I'd never seen any Handmaid's Tale or whatever that show's called.
No, but I'll tell you what, I kind of want to watch it.
Well, that's the gist, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Hulu had some kind of money involved in this thing. Look, it's all women on the show. It's all women. We can do a thing here.
I do remember reading good reviews.
I do too
for that.
Yeah,
but I don't have Hulu, so
everybody said good things about it. But it was very diverse. It was very, very diverse.
Very.
Yeah. But it was the part that was really irksome, and I guess the reason why I noticed the diversity of it all was because it was so self-congratulatory. It wasn't even about the awards. It wasn't about the show. It was about this great impact.
Look what we did again.
Yeah. Look at we're the only things left that make any sense in the world. And it's guys, I understand. And they're hey, let's bring up This Is Us again. It's an atypical family that gets along. Okay. Got it. And This Is Us, by the way. Have you seen any of that show?
No.
I watched.
No interest.
I watched it. And it is so... The tricks they do are so cheap on that show. Here's what they did. It wasn't that popular in the beginning. So they obviously, if you watch the show from the beginning, it wasn't that popular, but it was a decent show. So I was watching it. And I was okay, I can get behind this show. And then once it got popular, and once it started to build up a buzz... They completely slowed down every storyline. They started going back and revisiting characters that had died on the show, building in flashbacks.
Any babies?
No babies. No dead babies.
Okay.
But they started building in flashbacks and slowing down stories so that the stuff that worked, it was they went to a focus group.
Oh, it's Lost.
And completely changed the show. Is that what Lost did too?
Well, they did flashbacks, yeah, and they slowed stories down.
But did they do it because they were like, oh, this is what's working with the audience? Okay, forget about what we had planned.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what. I mean, I can tell.
This is the one with Mandy Moore, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can tell that's what This Is Us is doing. Like, they're like, because the whole point of the show is that at some point the dad died, but we don't know at what point the dad died.
Oh, it's one family?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a very diverse family.
Well, that's atypical.
Yeah. Oh.
There's a black man. There's a plus-size woman.
Plus.
Yeah. She's beautiful, though.
I guess.
She's beautiful.
Okay.
Stop it, Travis. She's beautiful.
I saw her on the red carpet.
Beautiful, right? I've never seen it. It's amazing, the red carpet. Everybody's beautiful. It's incredible.
I guess so.
Not one person who's not beautiful, including the photographers. Just beautiful. Everyone is beautiful.
Oh, how shitty was that? That red carpet when they're walking off the stage?
I would have been so fucking
with fake
annoyed.
paparazzi?
If you go up, you win an Emmy, and then you have to go. It's like your mom set up a red carpet because it's Emmy night. Like, let's pretend and we can have our cousins take photos of us.
It really came off cheesy, and I was like, they should know better.
That's how I knew which actors to respect and not respect. The ones that stopped for the paparazzi, the fake paparazzi, I had no respect for because they were like, ooh, cameras. And the ones that just kept walking. Yeah, Troy.
They weren't even taking pictures.
Isn't she beautiful in this big purple dress?
Yes.
By the way, this purple dress, it's as if you've never seen Willy Wonka. You couldn't pick a different color. You know, violet. You're turning violet, Violet. What do you get when you guzzle down sweets? Like, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That's nobody's fault but your own. And this whole idea, too, of everyone's beautiful, because that was a big theme of the night, right?
Everyone's beautiful, everyone's diverse.
Everyone's beautiful, everyone's diverse. It used to be, like, let's not put so much value on the physical, right? Like, that was the lessons that you taught to your kids. Like, okay, but it's not about being attractive or beautiful. It's not about this. It's about learning things and being intelligent and blah, blah, blah. But no, they don't do that anymore. Now it's just like, no, it is about being physically attractive. But good news, everyone is physically attractive. There's no one who's ugly. Because that's shaming. Everyone is beautiful. And to demonstrate that, here's Hollywood. Oh, cool, thanks. That's going to make everything better. That makes perfect sense. She really is, though. I was glad that not more of This Is Us people won, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, they only won like one award, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sterling K. Is Williams his last name? Sterling K. something.
Might be.
Yeah. He won the award for supporting actor, I believe. I don't think it was lead actor. And they cut off his speech, and then he finished it behind the backstage or something at the press conference. Yeah, because the last thing I'd want is any of these actors to not have a voice, right? That's just the last thing. Oh my God! It really lets you know when you watch an award show like that how difficult it is to do those things without musical performances.
Like every 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Like when it's just straight awards?
Right. Just put on are there any more bands? Or is there a band? Like you're desperately waiting for the in memoriam section because at least it's somebody singing a song. The one good thing I liked about the in memoriam section is that for some of it they left the crowd mics on.
I heard that.
Yeah. I wish they left the crowd mics on the whole time. Guess who they turned the crowd mic off for?
Roger Ailes?
Oh, yeah. Not a peep could be heard for old Roger. Roger Ailes died. Huh? Crickets. Here's Mary Tyler Moore. Roger Ailes. Zipped. Not a peep. Really is transparent, but good for Stephen Colbert. I'm actually happy for him. He's found a niche. It's working. You know. I guess people like it.
Works.
Yeah. Suzanne in New York. Welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Hi, guys. This is my first time calling. I love you guys. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love you, Suzanne. By the way, who spelled Suzanne's name?
Shitloaf.
I'm sure.
Shitloaf? Yep. Suzanne, is your name spelled with a double Z?
No, it's my biggest pet peeve.
Suzanne. It's like the 90s version of Suzanne. It's like the California Dreams version.
Zap.
Suzanne. Hey, Suzie. It's not spelled with Suzzane. A-N-E.
No.
Suzanne.
No, but at least that's an attempt at my correct name. My bigger pet peeve is being called Susan by mistake.
Well, I can't mistake that because there's no way there's two Z's in Susan. Susan.
Exactly. Sam, I have to tell you, This Is Us, the whole premise of that show is based from a dead baby.
You're right. I forgot. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. There's a dead baby in that show, too. Why can't people tell stories without dead babies anymore? What happened? Troy, you're right. Everybody's seen everything, and so you just got to throw dead babies in everything now.
Yeah, that just always will pull on people's heartstrings.
Yeah, they're like, oh, have you seen this show? It's great. There's a dead baby. What? It's sad.
Very much so.
All right. Thank you, Suzanne. I'll talk to you later. I totally forgot. Yeah, the whole premise of that show is it starts... The reason that there's a black gentleman in the family is because they have triplets, and then one of the triplets dies, which isn't like...
So they get a black guy?
Yes, that's some black...
weird show.
Yeah, exactly. They find this black guy on the bus ride home, and they're like, hey, you want to...
We got a spot open.
Yeah, you want to join the family? Can you hang out with babies? He's like, hell yeah! I'll join your family.
Maybe I gotta watch the show. It sounds a little weird.
It's amazing. You just never know where it's gonna go.
Every time someone dies, they just find someone on a bus.
Right. They're just like, is there? My grandfather died. He goes, is there a black guy around that we could throw him in that spot? No, they and I don't. I guess that's why it didn't bother me so much, because it was one of 3 triplets that died, which is kind of like a third of a baby dying, not a full dead baby.
Plus, it's like you got 2 more.
There's 2 more. It's like, you'll be okay. And they immediately adopt a black baby, immediately from the hospital. They're like, our baby's dead. And then the hospital's like, well, somebody just dropped off this black baby.
Want this one?
Yeah, it's just here. Somebody just dropped it off. And they're like, yeah, we'll definitely take that one. And they do. And that's the whole premise of the show. Good call. But, yeah, I was a little bit annoyed by, they were just laying on the Trump stuff so thick last night.
Which is fine if it's funny.
Yeah.
But when jokes aren't funny,
it gets to a point where it's just, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't funny anymore. Like the Sean Spicer stuff was funny. But, Alec Baldwin going up and accepting his award, and instead of being funny, just like talking about what a hero they all are. It's like, you guys aren't heroes. You got lucky. You got TV shows. Like,
that's not what I heard.
You heard heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I heard keep doing what you're doing because it's fucking important.
You're not soldiers. You're not police officers. You're none of those people. You're not firemen. You're not in the Navy. You're none of those people. You're extremely highly paid actors. You get to play pretend, make a ton of dough, and get all your shit for free, and then fuck really good looking women. That's not the lifestyle of a hero.
Like the woman from This Is Us.
Yeah, beautiful women.
Yeah.
Just beautiful women. Here comes our beautiful intern right now. We're all beautiful. That's the point, right? Yeah. Do you feel beautiful?
I feel great.
Good. All right. Thank you very much. Isn't he beautiful, Travis?
Yeah.
Tell him he's beautiful.
You're beautiful, buddy.
Thank you. He said you're beautiful. Yeah. Troy, tell him he's beautiful.
Hey, you're beautiful, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, good. He really is beautiful.
I got to get into that.
Well, yeah. Well, he looks like a Mexican D-bag. It's very, very weird. But
I think it's D-bag.
Yeah, I'm going to save that. You think it's actually D-bag?
I do.
We'll save that for when Jim gets back. I don't want to dissect that frog just yet. Let's go to Bill in Los Angeles. What's up, Bill?
Hi, Sam. While I was waiting on hold, I thought of a movie that had a dead baby in it, or so implied a dead baby.
Yeah.
The movie Sling Blade. Buried the little fella up back behind underneath the rock.
I guess, but you don't actually see the baby.
Well, but it's implied the little fella deserved better than what he got.
It is implied, I guess. Thank you, buddy. Let's go to Anita in North Carolina. What's up, Anita?
Hey, good morning, Sam.
Morning.
I was going to comment. First of all, I've seen Bone Tomahawk, and I know which scene he's talking about. And oh my God, it's one of those. Wow.
It's the
but
best.
What I wanted to say about the award shows, I don't watch them anymore because of the political strain that they're taking. Because it's really just a bunch of people kind of doing a group hug amongst themselves. All like-minded people. And I have to find Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale a little bit ironic because of the fact she's a devout member of the Scientology. And
Yeah,
so,
why aren't any of them talking about that? There's so many Scientologists in that room, I think. Why aren't any of them being like, hey, did anybody see that the show that the girl from King of Queens did? How crazy is Scientology? Huh? Elizabeth Moss, how fucking nuts is that?
well, not only that, but you talk about a group subjugating other people. I mean, it's crazy, but I don't watch those shows anymore for that very reason. It's just, it's so gratuitous that they become almost a caricature of themselves.
I felt like last night crossed that point where it was, thank you, Anita, a caricature of itself. That, like, you were sitting there looking at people who were all in this bubble, who had no idea of the bubble that we're in or how far it had gotten or how ridiculous it was getting, that just had no sort of grasp on reality anymore. Like, you could tell. Can you imagine dropping a Hillary joke in that room? Can you imagine the lead weight that joke would have been in there? And, like, Hillary is ripe to make jokes. Hillary is in her book blaming Bernie for her losing the election. Hillary, who screwed Bernie out of the nomination, is blaming Bernie for saying that she did that, for losing the election. And you can't make fun of that? Bernie, I love Bernie's response to Hillary. Hillary says that Bernie cost her the election, and Bernie just said, wow. Wow. Like, that's because it's a whole new level of crazy. It's like, well, if he hadn't called me out for what I was doing, I might have won. It's like, Hillary, it's not because you get called out.
Yeah, he didn't do enough to make his supporters vote for me.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah, because you would have had his back, Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing you're known for. He didn't do enough. If you can't,
mind-blowing how many people and things she blames.
Right. If you're a Democrat and you're running against Donald Trump and you can't get Bernie Sanders to support you instead of Donald Trump, you're doing something wrong. There's nothing at that point that Bernie Sanders can do. You're doing something wrong at that point. You're talking about losing votes to a guy who can't name a foreign leader. Because that's the only other place. Gary Johnson is the only other place that Bernie Sanders votes were going. I guess some of them were going to Trump because at least he was outside the system. But, yeah, I mean, if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter and you can't be swayed by a Democratic candidate that's not Bernie Sanders, it's the candidate's fault. It's not Bernie's fault, and it's not the supporter's fault.
There's a nice montage. I'm trying to look for it where they splice together Hillary blaming everybody for her loss.
Yeah.
And she's like, if this wouldn't have happened, I would have won. I wouldn't have lost if this happened.
I mean, she put out a book called What Happened. As if, like, we need an entire book to figure out that you had your head up your ass. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happened. What happened? Well, he was stalking me, on stage. He was right behind me, and it was very uncomfortable. Oh. Yeah, I'm sure you've never made anyone feel uncomfortable. Ask Linda Tripp how comfortable a conversation with Hillary Clinton is. Let's go to Sean in Denver. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard or not, but Sylvester Stallone is going to have, a major guest starring story arc on the next season of This Is Us. And I don't know about you, but as a child of the 80s and the 90s, it kind of hurts me a bit to see Rambo starring in this sappy melodrama.
Sylvester Stallone's going to come in to make love to the large woman because everybody's beautiful.
Now, apparently his story arc is he's playing himself, but he is starring on a movie set alongside the good-looking actor guy. But there's so many, other macho, shows out there that he could be on, and it's just, like I said, it stings a little bit that he's starring on that.
On the sort of 30-something of our generation, the ladies' melodrama, primetime melodrama.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand, he's tapping into, what is hot now. I mean, that shows the water cooler buzz, but I don't know. Don't you think that's a little?
Yeah, look,
pathetic. But come on,
Sylvester Stallone. I get what he's doing, and I don't know that I wouldn't do something exactly the same. Like he's finding the hottest show on TV, and he's like, oh, I can get on this show. I can make myself relevant. That's cool, and that's what he's doing. But Sylvester Stallone has come up with two of the biggest franchises of all time that are so big that you could keep making Rocky and Rambo movies until we were all dead and everybody would still go. Like, people love Creed. They loved it. And it was like, it was the same movie as Rocky. It was exactly the same movie. Everybody that's ever sat there and said, I don't like it when they do remakes, but they just make it a black guy instead of a white guy. Or like, I didn't like the Ghostbusters remake because it was women instead of men. Oh, okay. But Creed you didn't mind, as if that wasn't just a Rocky remake. You didn't mind that. No, it was Creed's son. Oh, okay. And the reason that nobody minded that is because Rocky is beloved and Rambo is beloved. And I feel like if I was Sylvester Stallone, I'd just be like, how do we keep making those movies?
Well,
or even the Expendables. He could do the Expendables forever now. He figured out a franchise for old action stars to throw grenades and whatnot. Like, once you figure that out, you don't have to do anything.
No, I agree with you completely, but I'll tell you what, if we see Dolph Lundgren starring on Will and Grace, then I'm tapping out.
Yeah, that's it. Suicide. You're done. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, that's the end. At that point, there's no more. There's nothing more that can be done.
Awesome.
If Dolph Lundgren was on...
He-Man can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Would you start watching the new Will and Grace if Dolph Lundgren was on it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If he was Jack's boyfriend?
He-Man's one of my favorite movies.
He-Man.
That movie was so good.
I loved it as a kid because I loved He-Man so much.
It's really bad.
It's such a terrible, terrible movie.
It really is. You know, the ending, they had to shoot without power because they were over budget, and the set was shut down.
Oh, no.
So that's why it's like so dark in like the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, because they had no
idea.
Yeah, they had no electricity.
So He-Man is like the Room of action movies.
Yeah. But it works.
I love the trailer for The Disaster Artist.
It's so good.
The new trailer for The Disaster Artist came out. The Disaster Artist is the movie based on the making of the movie The Room. And my favorite scene in the trailer is when they're like, Tommy, this alleyway scene that you built, the set for the alleyway looks exactly like the actual alleyway behind the building. And he's like, yeah, thank you. And they're like, well, why don't we just use the actual alleyway then? And he goes, because this is real Hollywood production. And you know that's exactly how it went. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Did you see the video of Donald Trump pushing Melania off stage?
I saw it when you sent it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's really funny, right?
Just get out of here.
Did you see that, Troy?
No, I didn't see it.
I sent an email. I responded to Travis's email last night. I guess it was all the rage on Twitter over the weekend. They're at something for some kind of military thing. I don't know exactly what they were doing, but Trump was about to give a speech, and Melania was introducing him. So, yeah, you can, watch from there. Take a look at this, Troy, since you're fresh to this. And we'll tweet this out, by the way, at Jim and Sam Show.
It's my great pleasure to introduce my husband,
Hit pause.
President of the United States.
How sexy is she? Isn't she incredible? Yeah. Like, she as the first lady should be everywhere. I don't know why I feel like Donald Trump hides her under a rock somewhere. She should be on TV all the time. I mean, she's amazing.
She might be maybe a loose cannon.
And she's got that accent, too. Oh, yeah. I love it. I would have her doing all my speeches for me.
And you know he doesn't want...
And by that, I mean have her doing all Michelle Obama's speeches for me. Yeah.
He doesn't want her to get more of the spotlight than him.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think he knows that, like, there's no way anybody... But if he were smart, he'd be like, just you do all the speeches. Just have Melania do everything because I like her. Like, I'll agree with what Melania is saying. But you're right. He doesn't want the spotlight to be taken away from him. Go for it.
Introduce my husband, the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
She didn't even say President of the United States, right? It's okay. All right, watch his hand. Shaking hands with her. All right, get the fuck out of here. He pushes her. He goes, you go sit down. He pushes her. She's like getting ready to stand next to him.
It's definitely what she was going to do.
Definitely. And there's all these like on Twitter, they did like Zapruder film analysis of this video and like zoomed in on the hand and everything. He's like, you go sit down. She's introducing him. And she's like, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. And she's standing there next to him. And like, it's not uncommon for a first lady to be standing right behind the president as he gives his speech. But he just pushes her. You go sit down. If he had been on the other side of her, he would have been the Sandman with a cane, just pulling her off stage. You're done now. You're out of here. Goodbye. Surprised he didn't walk on stage with like a giant boot and just kick her off. Oh, Donald. He's a charmless man, isn't he?
He really is.
He really is. You know, you could feel how you want about him as a president, but he is a tactless individual.
You can't say he's not entertaining.
No, my God, is he entertaining? And then you read, Travis, I'm sure you read the article about how it came out, how he treated Jeff Sessions.
Oh, yeah.
He got like Jeff Sessions. You remember there was that moment where Jeff Sessions resigned and then he didn't resign anymore?
Mm-hmm.
The reason he resigned was because there was like a meeting and it was all these White House people in it, and Jeff Sessions was not going to close the Russia investigation, I guess. And Donald Trump started screaming at him and calling him an idiot in front of everybody. You're an idiot. You shouldn't be here. I should fire you. You're a moron. Just like completely.
I'm sorry.
You just listen to your tunes over there again? He just like...
Troy gets bored very quickly.
Yeah, he likes a little happy music on a Monday. He likes something. He's like, Sam, pick it up. I need something snappy. He goes, he's just browbeating him in front of everybody. And Jeff Sessions is a guy who's had a career in Washington for a long time. And Donald Trump just comes in and is browbeating him in front of everybody. It's just hilarious. It's really, really funny. We should take a break because Andrew Schultz is coming in here. I want to get his take on the Canelo versus Triple G fight, and I want to find out what kind of money Anthony lost over the weekend, both on football and boxing. I also want to talk about Kevin Hart and everything that happened with him. I guess it's not the biggest shock in the world that maybe Kevin Hart was having sexual relationships outside of his marriage, is it? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But he came out, he admitted it. He admitted he'd been doing wrong things because somebody was holding him up for money, and now the FBI is involved trying to figure out who's trying to get the money from Kevin Hart. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll get to all that, plus Maury Povich coming in. It's going to be a fun show. Stay tuned. Did you know this was a song, or did you just look up the term?
No, somebody tweeted me.
Welcome back. How dare you? It's a song about dead babies.
Oh, my bad.
I was talking about, in the first hour, I saw the movie Mother.
Yeah.
You know, the Darren Aronofsky movie.
Yeah.
And
I like Aronofsky, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a flu dream, this movie.
What does that mean?
I was like, it's just completely fucked.
Oh, like you have the flu.
And this is like what a dream would be like while you're on the flu.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck? It's like just...
So there's flu game,
right,
which is Jordan, and then flu dream, which is Mother. Gotcha.
Right, exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
I'm with you, yeah.
And you don't have the black and reds on.
No,
in the flu dream.
You're alone.
No, you're alone. Yeah, yeah. But they kill a baby in the movie. Spoiler alert.
For what?
Well, it's a whole thing, and it's deeply laced in metaphor, and you could say the baby represented Jesus and all this, but it's the point is you're still, regardless of what it meant or why, you watch it,
right?
Get killed, and I said I don't need it. You know, I don't need, or at least a little heads up.
What's your thing on, how do you feel about abortion now that you have a baby and everything?
I'm fine with abortions. If people want them, they can have them.
How do you personally feel?
I would probably have a tough time with it.
All of my friends with kids say the same exact thing.
Yeah. I mean, because you can. Well, here's the thing for me. Like, you can make it work.
Yeah.
And I have a wife who's a great wife and a great mother.
So it's different.
So I'm not sitting there going like, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, yeah, I'd have to struggle. I'd have to make some money.
Yeah.
But like that, I can figure that part out. I can do something. I can trick if I have to.
You can trick if you have to.
Whatever I have to do, I can get some money. And that's what we would have to do for that to go down. Like, you know, if I got some rando pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Scoop it out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I still might try to figure it out. I don't know. But I'm not, like, as a principle, I'm certainly not against it. Yeah. Like, and I don't, if somebody was like, yeah, no, I'm getting it done, I'd be like, yeah, do what you got to do. Like, because I don't think anybody, whether they admit it or not, nobody has an easy time with it.
No, yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to guilt you for it because I'm sure you're doing plenty of that yourself, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's like a drone strike.
How so?
Just as long as you don't know it, or the people dying or
Right.
whatever.
It's a necessary
okay.
evil.
Yeah, it's
You
like
gotta-
necessary. It's just kind of, and it's like I can live with that. Like
Yes.
if women's stomachs were just like clear.
Mm-hmm.
And like I could see what was going on in there.
Right.
Like the better sonograms get, you know how they got like HD now?
Oh, I
and
know.
now-
3D.
Dude, they're 3D. Like the better those get,
They
the
can put them on IMAX.
harder. Sorry, I believed you for a second. I
They
was
can
like,
put them on an IMAX
IMAX in
screen.
these
Yeah,
things?
yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
god! Wow,
That's right.
But yeah, I don't know if that's going to be whatever. It is what it is. It's interesting having my friends have kids. My friends who have been like adamantly supportive of abortion, probably paying for plenty in their
Right.
lives.
Not pro-choice, pro-abortion.
Pro-abortion. yeah. How we get them out of here? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like my friends will say this. They'll be like, "Dude, once I heard the heartbeat, bro, it was kind of hard. You know what I mean? It was kind of tough. Now I think about it a little differently."
Well, that's the drone strike thing, because you're like, do you want to see what the fetus looks like? No.
Like, if I saw the wedding happening, I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, push the button, strike it.
Right.
The drone strike's happening at these weddings.
Right, 100%. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But the fact that we don't have to see it,
Right.
it's like, hey, you get the terrorists out of there. Oh, you got some cousins too? Yeah.
I didn't
don't
know.
I don't know
Yeah.
about this. I just know you got the bad guy, you know?
Right. It's a necessary evil. But if we have to sit there and look at it, or it's your cousin, be like, no, what?
Yes,
That's totally wrong.
That's what I was talking about. It's like, what is the distance for care?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like right now, all of us are on our phones tweeting about all the injustices in the world, right? And the phones are made by child
Labor.
slaves.
Yeah.
Basically, not slave, but kind of like, the closest we got.
They're certainly not getting 15 an hour.
They're not getting 15 an hour
Right.
at all, right?
Right.
Bernie would not be supportive. Bernie's tweeting about minimum wage and some stuff, made by kids who basically
Yeah, you
say,
better have an American-made burner phone or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you, an American Apparel phone? That's what we need.
That's what you need. And even if it's an American Apparel phone, that means the employees are all getting sexually abused. So what are you doing?
Somebody's going to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's like, what is the distance that we don't have to care about? Like, I'm supportive of Kaepernick doing whatever he wants, right? But he was a Nike athlete. So how does he reconcile, all right, all my stuff is made by child slaves, but I'm not going to talk about how that's fucked up.
Right.
Let's talk about what's going on here, because this is close.
Well, you have to you have to pick a cause, right? And just kind of stick with that only, because then if people are like, well, what about this thing that you do that supports this bad thing? Yeah, I know, but we're not talking about that. Like, we're just talking about Black Lives Matter or whatever it is. Like right now, I'm talking about this. If we can get this figured out, then maybe I'll talk to you about Nike.
And okay, so then the question is that okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you allowed to pick and choose your virtuosity?
Well, yeah, I don't think, because I don't think you can just be, because here's the problem.
So if you can't be...
Nobody except for Jesus, Jesus existed as a person, but
Right. Let's go off of the image of Jesus.
Nobody except for the image of Jesus is a 100% virtuous human being, right?
Okay.
So if nobody walking this earth right now is 100% virtuous,
right,
then by your logic, nobody can stand up for anything.
No, I'm not saying you can't stand up for everything. I want to know what the distance for care is. How far away do you have to be from me to be able to not care about you and everybody's good?
I think you have to take each individual thing totally by itself.
Okay.
So like Colin Kaepernick is allowed to. He could still be a Nike athlete. He's not anymore, right?
I doubt it.
Right.
You got to be on a team.
He's not an athlete. So how's he going to be a Nike athlete? Yeah, he's not. He's just a guy right now. He's a tall, muscular dude.
If you don't have a number, you can't be a Nike athlete.
Right. Yeah, any jersey
in the
he has.
Contract.
Yeah, he bought it in Modell's.
Sorry, what number are you capped? Oh, you don't have that. Okay.
Right.
Well, we'll talk to you next season.
Right. Nikes? Oh, Foot Locker is your style. Yeah. Yeah, but you see, he can be pro Black Lives Matter and still be a Nike athlete, because that has nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter problem per se, specifically. Now, if Nike was like,
what is
persecuting black people,
what is the Black Lives Matter argument? Right? It's essentially we need equality and equal treatment
for black people.
Not for them Asian kids.
No. That's why they were very specific about which lives matter.
So then
and that's the Black Lives Matter movement, right? Because the whole principle is like, Yeah, of course all lives matter.
Right.
We're not saying all lives don't matter.
Yes.
But right now we're talking about Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And the idea is after we figure out Black Lives Matter and we're all in agreement that Black lives do matter, then we can work on the Asian kids.
Right. There was a talking point that I had that I've heard many times again, which is you don't raise money for all cancer.
Mm-mm.
You go in and raise money for leukemia, right? And nobody would interrupt your leukemia rally to be like, well, what about
breast cancer? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why don't we work on that too? Why don't you guys not care about that? It's not that we don't care about that. It's right now we are working on this. It's a tough thing, man, being an adult and being self-aware. You got
to do one thing at a time. I think.
I just want to be an Antifa.
I know you do.
I don't want. It's so much easier, isn't it? You just tell me what to care about. I care about that. I don't have any consistency.
No, none.
None
You're
at all.
You're like, well, no, because you can punch people because if you don't agree with them.
Yeah. They're the bad ones.
Right.
Remember World War II?
Right. Yeah. Because that's Antifa's argument is there is bad and good, and we are good and they are bad. Yeah. So it's okay.
And it is impossible to empathize with another person's situation.
Right.
Man.
Right, and if you disagree with Antifa, it's like, oh.
Well, you're a Nazi.
So Nazis are...
First of all, everyone's a Nazi. How do Nazis feel about this Nazi term being bestowed upon
What do you mean
everybody?
everybody's a Nazi?
Everybody's a Nazi now. Like, if you disagree with anybody, you're a Nazi. Why? Because you're a Nazi?
You mean like yeah, I see. Because Trump's a Nazi.
Everybody's... And Jews are being called Nazis.
Right.
And I feel like...
And by the way, poor Jews, if you're not a Nazi, like if you go out and say, I'm not a Nazi and I don't support them, somebody on Twitter is going to be like, you fucking Jew. Like it's one or the other. And I've gotten called... I'm neither one, and I've gotten called both.
Yeah, when you were describing Jesus just now, I was like, how does this Jew know how perfect Jesus was? I just realized he's not Jewish. Both of us just fake Jews over here.
Yeah.
But it's a tough thing, man. Like trying to... I saw Bannon on 60 Minutes. Did you see Bannon on 60 Minutes? I'm drawn to just understand situations that I don't like. Maybe that's part of the curiosity thing we were talking about off air, right? We enjoy talking to people who know things that we don't, so we can kind of mine them for.
And I want to watch somebody I disagree with.
Yeah, and
let me hear what you have.
Sure, and I might agree with things. I
might
disagree. I want to know what a globalist really is to you in a nationalist economy. How these things work. Okay, cool. So. And I'm watching, and he keeps harping on this one thing, which is like this election was about jobs. And the more the left talks about identity politics, the better it is for us because people really just care about jobs. And he said an interesting thing. He was like, he goes, Americans don't see themselves as racist. Now, whether they are or they're not, doesn't matter if they don't see themselves as racist.
Right.
So if you make race the pinnacle issue and they don't see themselves racist, like, well, I'm going to care about that. I'm not racist.
Patrice O'Neill had this amazing kind of...
I'm a huge Patrice fan. What
argument, observation, whatever it was. Yeah. He goes, I've never met a racist.
That's right. The low-key racist he was talking about. Yeah.
I know but they don't know. Like, I've never actually met...
But think about that. If they don't know...
Right.
Your identity politics are not going to resonate with them.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're like, I need a job.
And even if they are racist,
right,
they don't know they are. They don't identify as. And so, like, if you're saying...
Doesn't tickle them.
If you're calling them racist or saying, well, if you disagree with me, you're a Nazi, or if that's going to piss someone off.
Or if it's going to piss them off, one, or if they're talking about these racist people that are a big problem.
Right.
And they don't identify it as...
That's not me.
They turn the channel.
Right.
It's just like talking about... We were talking about hepatitis or whatever like that. Like, oh, well, we don't have hepatitis in New York, so I don't have to worry about hepatitis.
Right.
Yeah, it's not something we have to worry about. So I'm talking to a couple friends of mine, like smart dudes. These are very smart dudes. Liberal guys, but very smart guys. And I was trying to go... to have this conversation about what do you think about the idea that the election was really about jobs? And they could not untether themselves from the idea that their election wasn't about racism. They were 100% sure. And I was like, well, just let's indulge in it. Why don't we just think about it? Like, just have this thought exercise.
Now, doesn't it ever occur to them that, like, when you see that point of view, this quote-unquote intellectual point of view, when you see that being reflected on mainstream media, like, when your point of view is reflected in the mainstream news, I feel like that's when you realize, like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Like, once the news is spouting off your opinion...
Ooh, why is that?
Well, it's not an intellectual thing anymore, because the news is generally...
Oh, it's a generic low-hanging fruit.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So it's like, the fact that the news isn't covering this idea that what Americans really want is jobs.
Oh yeah, or what everything came down to in the election was jobs. Like everything that I tried to bring up, I was like, I said the wall. Like for example, this was very important, people, and I go, well, the wall is really a function of immigration, right? And it stops people from coming in that would be taking these people's jobs, right? Like it's a deterrent to job taking, if that is a thing.
What's the thing that people who don't like immigration, what do they say? We don't want them coming in here, taking our jobs, taking our money, but like,
absolutely,
that's the argument.
That's the argument, right? So I present that and they're like, no. He said it's to stop rapists and murderers from coming in. That's why they voted, because they don't want rapists and murderers, and they think all Mexicans are rapists and murderers. And these are smart guys. And I start thinking, I'm like, oh, okay, the liberal media is not a conspiracy. It's people just don't know. They don't even try to empathize.
It's more of a cult than a conspiracy, in the sense that like this information has just been fed in.
So why? Why are we afraid to even entertain? I enjoy entertaining shit that's really messed up, but maybe it's because I'm a comic and I do that for a living. I constantly am justifying fucked up shit. Why are people afraid to even entertain an idea that goes against their ideology?
Well, I think it's because we've lost all sense of nuance, and everything is either right or wrong, good or bad, and like you pick a side. Are you for Trump, which means you're a Nazi fascist / patriotic American who wants the best country in the world,
right.
Or are you against Trump, which means you are an intelligent, altruistic, communist Antifa pussy? Like, which one are you? One or the other. There's no, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, I was having a conversation with somebody recently, again, like you, smart guy, went to high school with him.
Yeah.
And like, somebody was like a group of people.
Yeah.
And somebody goes like, hey, being on the radio, like, I know that you were having a great time when Trump was running for president. Like, you were goofing on it the entire time, every night talking about it. I was like, yeah. He's like, do you still do that? And I was like, it's tougher now because nobody has a sense of humor about it, but I think you do have to find a way to laugh about stuff. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, find a way to laugh about stuff. So I'm not even taking a side, right? I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
This one guy freaks out.
What does he say?
He says, this is not funny. Some things you can't laugh about. He's an embarrassment to our country. He's making me embarrassed to be an American, and he's a racist, and he's a rapist, and I'm done, and good night. And he leaves, and I'm like, I don't think he raped anybody. I don't think that he's documented as raping anybody.
What's interesting though is it like we only assume the worst intentions for the people we disagree with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you vote for Hillary and you meet a Trump supporter, you're like, he voted for them because one reason, right? He's he's a racist rapist. That's why he would vote for a racist rapist if he did it, right?
And same way the other way around.
Exactly. And everybody voted for Hillary. Or everybody who voted for Trump thinks of Hillary supporters as I don't know what what do they think of them as
Hillary support? Well,
Hillary voters.
Yeah, definitely. Communists.
Ah, yes. Okay, communists, or like socialists,
Jews,
these type of thing. Oh, yes, those
Jews.
People.
Yeah,
but then a lot of Jews like Trump. I've noticed a lot of my Jewish friends like Trump.
Yeah, but you'll be if
they
you
just side with Israel. Who's more Israel? Like they.
But if you say
you're the ship on Obama,
I don't even mean Jewish necessarily. The term Jew has been so warped. It's really, really bad. It's like because I see
like Nazi.
I see. Yeah, I see it on my social media. Like if you are. Even if you start hinting at being a supporter for Hillary at all, which I'm not saying I am. I'm not.
Yeah.
But if I were to say like, no, Hillary was right about this, it'd be like I knew he was a Jew. Like I've seen it.
So
it's
Jew is
crazy.
no longer a group of people. It's a way of living. It's a way of life.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing. And then of course
they also do look violently Jewish.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe that's part of it.
Everybody else.
Maybe that's part of it.
Going through the same thing.
But that probably also adds to. Well, the fact that anything they don't like is being classed. It's like in high school. When you were in high school and the word gay was thrown around, like anything you didn't like, that's gay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It was before. Now, the alt-right, and I don't even want to say the alt-right. I don't want to group anybody into anything. But there's a group of people who support Trump and that mindset that use the word Jew like people use the word gay in high school. Well, and it's the craziest shit you ever seen in your life. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because they have a word that's way better.
Which is what?
Cuck.
Cuck. Yeah,
Cuck is the best word ever.
It is a great word.
Because it encompasses everything that we wanted to say when we would say the word, I don't know if, I can curse in something.
Yes.
Fag.
Right.
Like, so... my whole life, whenever that word was said, my interpretation of it wasn't, oh my God, I hate gay people are the worst, or anything like that. It was just like, oh, this guy's acting like somebody would fuck his wife and he would watch. And then all of a sudden, a word came out that meant...
That is that.
And I'm like, get out of here. There's a word. It's my favorite word.
So if you see a guy holding his girlfriend's purse...
Cuck.
That's because, and that is actually
accurate. If you see a guy with a girlfriend, cuck, what are you doing having a girlfriend, you fucking pussy?
Yeah. What, you want me to go fuck her? What, you want me to fuck her?
Hey, put on your bifocals so you can see this in HD.
Oh my God, it really is a crazy time. But Andrew Schultz is here. I don't even remember if I introduced you or not.
Oh, that's me. I'm Andrew. How you doing?
Andrew Schultz is here, and you have a big special. Well, it's not a special.
I call it an experience.
It is an experience, but you did it for free, huh?
I did it for what? It didn't cost me for free.
I watched it. It was free.
It was free for you guys.
For me, it was it was on the house.
It's on the house. Yeah. For me, it cost me a little bit of money. It cost me, it's
very professionally done.
Time.
So you did a typical New York night for a comic.
Yeah.
You did 3 clubs.
4
clubs.
I actually did 5, but I only kept 4 in the smaller edit.
Bonus features.
There we go.
But we have, of course, you did 4 clubs. 4 clubs. What's the second 4 mean?
4 sets.
4 clubs, 4 different sets.
4 different sets.
One night. 441.
441.
Right. I love it. And then and when you announced it and you were like, I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's probably going to be one of those deals where I got to pay 99 cents on the YouTube channel to watch it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, no, it's just up on YouTube. I was like, well, all right, I'll watch that on YouTube.
Yeah. That's what I wanted. I wanted originally I shot it as like a 50-minute thing. Right now I cut it down. It's a little under like 17 minutes.
Right. Yeah. So it's perfect. It's like 16 minutes. You watch it and you just look it up on Andrew Schultz on YouTube.
Yeah. If you go to youtube.com/theandrewschultz, it's also the Brilliant Idiots YouTube channel, which is a podcast I do with Charlemagne.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I originally shot it and I was like, I'm gonna just. I had this idea, and I want to show what it is to be a New York comic, and I want to do an hour a little bit differently than everybody else has been doing the hours.
Mm-hmm.
No curtain in the background, just a different scenario. I videotape the cab rides in between. I really just get get you into this night. What is it to be a New York comic? What do we do? And I shot it, and I put it together, and I went out to go sell it, and it was humbling. It was humbling, man. It was like I was getting no's from networks that I was ready to say no to. I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I was like pitching it. I was like, yeah, we could go to Showtime, but I'm not going to put it up there. Like, I had this like real ego going into it.
Is that a tough thing to go through when like you went through one part of your career where it was like you were Mr. MTV,
right?
Shows on TV all the time. Guy Code. Let's do this spinoff. Let's do that spinoff. Like you were the dude for a second.
Gave me everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you were like, you left there, or or it was just like a mutual thing.
I think it was mutual.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was mutual. They didn't renew my contract, but I also had gotten a sitcom that I was a lead in, the Benders one.
Right.
So it was like 2 things happened
time to
at
do
the
something
same
else.
time. Yeah.
Right. So you get the sitcom, and then you're like, okay, this is like up.
Boom, boom, boom.
And then Benders is a wrap. It's done.
Benders a wrap. It's done.
And you're like,
and then they put it on Netflix,
Benders, which
is great. So I'm thinking, I got a show on Netflix. I'm the lead, and this is a headshot, no-brainer. Here's a special Netflix. You ready? You want it?
Right.
The guy who runs Netflix is the guy that brought me the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Done.
Nice guy. I mean, this is easy.
So you're actually thinking to yourself, like, all I really need to do is shoot something because I got the in.
Exactly. And I have an idea that's very novel.
Yeah.
And I specifically did it like this. I was like, if I don't have the juice on my name, the artistic integrity of the idea is going to sell it.
I tell everybody, like the way movies work now is like the reason that these horror movies do so well is because high concept. I'm not talking about that Darren Aronofsky movie. I'm talking about high concept movies.
Look at Lil Rel's movie, or not Lil Rel's
Get
movie.
Out.
Get Out.
Lil Rel is in it. High concept, low budget. That's the way to succeed right now.
And you make 100 off it.
Exactly.
So that's what I did. I was like, let me go concept.
High concept comedy.
The high concept comedy. I need to add value, equity to my shit, right? If my name isn't big enough, I need to add value to it. And we went out to these different places, and then people were like, this is interesting. We like it. We don't know. Give us a second, this, that, the other. They kept waiting. They kept making me wait and pushing. And eventually I was like, I just want to give this to the people, man. I worked really hard on this, and I teamed up with a production company, Manhattan Productions, and Bradley Ross and Brandon Walsh. I couldn't do it without. My brother was the initial person to help me put this whole thing together. Greg Schultz, I couldn't do it without. It was amazing. And I was very humbled by it, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then I just said, you know what, fuck it. This is good. I know this is really good. And it's shot wonderfully. The jokes are great. I'm putting this shit out.
Right.
And I just want to give it to the people. And my feeling was I don't want any barrier. The cool thing about being a comic is if I put this out and like everybody who listens to this right now watches it and then shares it and I create some sort of viral sensation, I can make money in the long run.
Sure.
Money follows greatness.
Yeah.
Money follows success, right?
Yeah.
It's like if there's somebody great, it doesn't matter what it is, money's right around the corner.
No, I love the idea that you just put material out. Like, just put it out.
I was too precious for years over it because I was saving for this moment. But I realized, and I learned a lot from putting it out, is I put it out and all of a sudden people are like, oh shit, we didn't know you did stand-up. That was mind-boggling.
That's great because you've done it for how many years now?
10 years I've done stand-up.
Right. And you're thinking like this is all people know me from. That's all
people know, but they know me as the guy who does podcasting.
Yeah, Brilliant Idiots.
Brilliant Idiots. They know me as maybe MTV.
Right, Guy Code.
Guy Code actor.
And that's crazy because like in the comics mind, you're thinking, well, everybody knows that all the people on Guy Code are comedians. That's what we do.
Yep.
But for the viewer, nobody knows how business
Nobody
works.
knows.
So they're sitting there like, oh, this is just a guy who says funny stuff on TV.
Yeah.
I didn't know he does stand-up.
And I needed to prove myself.
Right.
Because I never did a late night. I wasn't really that into I wanted to be able to do it as myself, and I felt like I couldn't say the things I wanted to say on late night. And so I didn't really have stand-up out there, at least high-quality stand-up out there. And I understood it to a certain extent. It was humbling, but I understood these networks, right, where it was like, all right, maybe I haven't done anything just yet. Like, we wonder why certain actors keep on getting roles, even though they're not successful. And it's like, they know how to do the job.
Right.
It's an investment that a company is making in you, right? If you're a basketball player, we want to know you've played ball before.
Right.
Go play a year overseas or go play in college. Don't give me this high school shit.
Like, you know how to hang in a locker room. You know how to take media. You know how to hang out with this high-pressure game.
Boom.
Yeah.
So now I at least have this thing, and it's a lesson that I learned for myself, and I hope other people can get something from it, which is like, it's easy to say, hey, listen to my music. Please give me a shot, blah, blah, blah. Give yourself a shot.
Yeah.
Make yourself hot, and people will come to you. I tell you, I put it out Thursday, or it was Wednesday at 12:01 a.m., so basically Thursday. I was in San Diego doing shows. My Thursday show sold out. I don't sell out Thursdays. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And this is in San Diego,
right?
When the most popular Mexican fighter in the country is fighting this weekend. So cats are going to Vegas.
Yes.
You could drive there.
Yes.
So I said Thursday, Friday sold out.
I mean, and people are going to Vegas, even if they don't have tickets. They're just watched in a bar in Vegas just to be there.
Just to be around the energy of it. So I'm like, oh my Lord, why was I so precious over this for years? Why was I not putting this out? And it was a great experience to do it. I can't wait to put out the next one. And if a network doesn't want to get behind it, because I believe in the special itself, go check it out. If you have 16 minutes, give it 5 minutes. I'm pretty confident you'll watch all the way through, but I'd appreciate if you entertained it. But yeah, I'm already thinking about the next one, man.
Yeah.
I think I got a good idea.
Another concept?
Yeah, I want to do Mansplained.
Yeah, because that was your tour.
Right, but I want to do it to an all-female audience live from Planned Parenthood. I don't know if Planned Parenthood will let me do it, but I think there could be something. Exciting about it. We got to talk to them.
Yeah. I love that. Even if you're just in front of an all-female
audience, could be fun.
I think it could be really fun.
I'm going to bomb my ass off, but it'll be fun.
But that's when you go up there and you start bringing up things that you know they're going to disagree with. And like the fun of the special will be... Yeah, exactly.
So what I do.
But the fun of the special will be watching you turn them.
Right.
That's what I'm watching for.
Yes. Yeah. Can I get them to do it? Yeah, it'll be cool. And maybe I'll run it a few times in the city, see if I can. Or maybe I'll divide an audience like a mosque. Like just have both sides and like one camera on each side and see what. Who knows? It's just got me inspired. Like to just go out and do
when
shit.
The networks are saying no, is it shaking up your confidence? Like, maybe I'm not that good?
I was super, I was super shaken at first. I was like, am I not as funny as I think I am? Like, what's going on? Like, because that was one of the things that like was part of myself. On that stage, like I get busy on the stage. You know what I mean? Like you can say what you want about my political opinions, say what we want about on the podcast, say what you want about my acting ability, this, that, the other. But like that was one thing where it was like, no, unfuckwithable, because I put the work in.
But so much success in the recent years has not come from stand up for you.
Exactly.
That it was almost covering up the stand-up.
Absolutely. And I wasn't putting the work in. Like, the way I viewed stand-up, and I think it is the truth of the matter, is like, you need to make it in something else in order to be a big stand-up.
Right. So you're sitting there thinking, like, I got
to get a sitcom. I got to get this TV. I got to get all
then
these
people will
outlets.
finally pay attention to the stand-up.
Exactly. Which
is your same concept of, like, I have to do a special that's unique because then people will pay attention to my jokes.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And you still believe that, though, that you
I
need
don't think
something
you can
else.
make it
You
on
can't
just stand up anymore. You know, it depends. If you have a tribe, yeah. Like if you represent a tribe, you know.
What do you mean,
if you're the Italian guy, or if you're the Jewish guy, I don't even know if Jews have a comic anymore. But like, you know, Louis is everybody's guy now. But like I'm sure he represents kind of like a hipster sect.
Yeah.
You know, and Kevin is crossed over, but for a moment he was the black comic, the head one. So everybody catapults one comic up to be their leader, if you will.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a tribe, and I wasn't attacking it in that way.
It's just so funny though, because like maybe this is just part of coming up and everything. Because when I was younger, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and trying to do this, I was looking at all the people podcasting, and who are successful, and I was like, do I have to go become a stand-up comic just to get a podcast off the ground?
Yeah.
And so like I was thinking the exact same thing that you were, except I was going to go be a stand-up so that I could do this.
Never do that.
Good thing I didn't. I'm glad I didn't.
It's the word. The only way, and the only thing I would say do stand up for, and it is like if you want to be a comedic actor, I get why these people do it. A lot of stand ups hate them for doing it, but the reality of the matter is like if you're a comedic actor and you don't do improv or stand up, how do people know you're a comedic actor?
Right.
It's hard to book a job.
Right.
And I've booked them.
And I mean, it's just good training, right? It's learning how to be funny.
Sure.
Yeah.
But more important than all of that, how do people know you're funny?
Right.
When I can say, or my agent can say, yo, check out Andrea's a show tonight, The Cellar. Or check out blah, blah, blah. I'm sure one of these improv guys, he's got a show to, at least somebody can go see him.
And then there's evidence that you're funny.
The only reason I'm on TV is because someone saw me do stand-up.
Right.
The only reason, right? So it's like, realistically, if you want to be a comedic actor and you're not a stand-up or improv, kill yourself. You're not even trying hard enough. You know what I mean? It's just no point.
Right.
What are you just hoping?
Did you watch the Triple G Canelo fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think?
Well, I've never been a big Triple G guy. So I called decision.
Okay.
I'm
You
a
didn't think
huge
it was going to be a
boxing guy.
knockout?
No.
I'm not a big boxing guy.
Big boxing guy. So I called decision. I said Triple G by decision. Triple G should have won the decision.
Right.
If boxing was fair, I'm right.
Right.
It was close regardless. What was interesting is that Canelo's a better fighter.
But he didn't, not that night though.
No. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was just how do I explain it? Like, he's just not as cerebral. So he doesn't know how to use his skills in the way that Mayweather does.
Right. Well, that's part of the, and that's the big Mayweather thing, right? Is that psychologically
he is
where he gets his advantage.
Unbelievable.
Aside from being like lightning quick.
Lightning quick, great reflexes, everything. He also has zero flaws in his he's one of the few athletes in history that have had zero flaws. Like even in basketball, somebody can be great, but their shot has a little hitch in it.
Yeah.
It's rare you have zero flaws in your game. That being said, he can do more with less. Canelo has more, but can't do as much because he just doesn't have the same.
It's not there yet. Could
I don't
get
think
there.
he'll ever be there. He's had 50 fights. He's 27. He's had 50 fights. He's been fighting since he's 15.
Wow.
I don't think. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Do you think this is? It feels damaging to. I mean, all these fights feel damaging to boxing to me. But to come off that fight where it's a draw, so that's how this fight ends. In a draw.
Yeah.
Not only is it a draw, but almost everybody that I've spoken to, and I'm no source on this, so I went out and talked to people about it.
Yeah.
Almost everybody that I've spoken to is like, no, this should not have been a draw. Even more people, even the people that said, yeah, I could see it being a draw, it's like talking about what the fuck is this lady who judged it at 118, 110?
Yeah.
What is that about? So one of the judges puts the fight at 118, 110, which is so far off from what anybody else had.
10-2 fight. So she gave 10 rounds to Canelo, 2 rounds to Triple G.
Which isn't even close to what anybody else had. And it's got everybody once again, what should have been the fight of the decade. This is the fight that should have taken the attention away from Mayweather-McGregor because this is the actual boxing fight.
Well, it was a great setup, right? Mayweather-McGregor gets you interested in boxing.
Precisely.
And then you all of a sudden see it was the jab. Mayweather-McGregor the jab, and this is the right hand, and it delivered in a lot of ways.
But then you see this decision, and you have the same conversation that you have after every big fight, which is boxing is fixed.
Yeah, and it's a huge problem. Because fans would have loved to see, and the fight was close enough to warrant a rematch regardless.
Right.
So just let Triple G win the fight that he deserved to win.
Right.
Have the rematch. We're still going to watch. Mexican fans will watch a fighter who has 40 losses. They're like wrestling fans.
Right.
They don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Are you Mexican? What's his face? Canelo is Irish. He doesn't look Mexican at all. I don't even know if I've heard him speak Spanish.
Right.
He might not be Mexican at all. He might be from like the Netherlands or something like that. And they're just saying that he's a plant.
So there's a vowel at the end of that name, though.
That's true. Good point. Yeah. So that means he is Mexican.
That's it.
Yeah. Alvarez. No, Z. No vowel. Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
His first name is Saul. Saul. But Saul, he's a Jew from the Netherlands. Okay, he's a plant.
No, you're right.
He is a plant.
But
he's not even a real Mexican. But they say he's Mexican.
So they love him.
He fights like one, so they love him. These are the best fans. Without Mexicans, there's no boxing.
Did you see what's the big boxing commentator that was going?
Not Freddie Roach. Teddy Atlas.
Teddy Atlas.
I love Teddy Atlas. Shout out to Staten Island.
Did you hear what he was saying about this thing?
Aneurysm.
He was pissed. Do you have the Teddy Atlas clip that they sent out last night? I think you have it. You had it there a minute ago. He was pissed.
Oh, yeah. Dude, his veins are popping out of his skull. But this is what always happens at a bad decision. He was talking to Stephen A. Smith. There's a really cool moment here, actually, where...
That's it.
Yeah, it was a wild...
What's your reaction to the decision? Corruption in boxing. Follow the money. And no one else is going to say that in boxing, and some people are going to be very upset. And I don't care. I don't care if they're upset.
But what do you mean by corruption?
Because there's no way. I got a 118, 110. Okay, let's not go off a round. And let's make it 117 to 111. And still, it's one guy winning the fight. I mean, one guy was the ocean, the other guy was the log for most of the fight. The ocean usually wins in that battle.
Yeah.
When I watch and I go out there and I look in the Atlantic Ocean, the ocean moves the log around. The ocean is the champion. The ocean was Golovkin. But not in boxing. Boxing doesn't honor the things that should be honored. It honors money, control, power. And there's only certain power brokers in boxing, certain promoters, and they have the power. They have control who the judges agree, who the judges aren't going to be. So who the judges know if they want to work, who they have to vote for.
Who do I do about?
In Las Vegas, where the money's going to come back there for a rematch. I mean, there's no other way to. How could I stand here all week and say that it's going to be a controversial outcome?
Yeah.
How do I know that? How do I know? Early on, I had said that Golovkin 2 years ago would knock out Canelo, but the fight got closer. It did get closer because he would have got knocked out 2 years ago, but he fought in spots.
No, he wouldn't have.
Don't argue with Teddy Atlas.
He didn't fight enough to win. He fought in spots to survive.
All right.
He being
Teddy Atlas. I love that a boxing guy is just being like, it's fixed. It's all fake.
He's been saying this for years. Teddy's the realist.
Good for Teddy.
Teddy.
And they still put him on TV, huh?
Bro, Teddy.
I love that.
You know, Teddy shot Tyson?
No, I didn't know that.
Tried to shoot Tyson in the head. You didn't hear about?
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Tyson tried to. There's a great story. I don't know exactly what it is, but Tyson, fingered his niece or something like that.
Tyson fingered Teddy Atlas's niece?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly what happened. Tried to hook up with Teddy Atlas's niece. Tyson was older. His niece was 14 or something like that.
Oh, boy.
And Allegedly, and then Atlas brought him behind the gym in an alley, and I think put a gun to his eye. I think the gun went off. He's a hardcore Staten Island New Yorker.
I love seeing guys like that succeed.
That being
seeing
said,
him put a suit on and get on television and be an analyst. It's great.
Oh, you got to. If it keeps on going, there's a great moment where Stephen A. Smith starts to talk, and try to say some slick stuff. And Teddy goes, he goes, stop it, Steven. You're doing your college educated thing with your fancy words. You know what you're doing with your college educated spin. It was great. So working
he's just
class.
a street guy. Yeah, exactly. Who's like, oh, you're college educated. That means you have no idea what you're talking about.
or like you're trying to talk past me. You think I'm dumb.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm just using the English language. Is Anthony in there? Shitlove Anthony?
Yeah, he's in here.
How did he do over the weekend?
Oh, let's find out.
Yeah, because Anthony, you remember Anthony, he's a degenerate gambler.
Mm-hmm.
He has not learned, so he only gambles, a few $100s a weekend, but that's because all he's got is a few $100.
Right.
Like
So he gambles it all.
He saw this whole Craig Carton story, thought of it as like as something going on in another country. Doesn't relate to him whatsoever. Don't worry, Sammy. It's never going to happen to me. Right? Right. So, did we? It was a big weekend for sports. You had obviously Triple G fight.
I didn't bet that fight.
Why not?
Because I don't know anything about either fighter.
But that's the biggest. I mean, that was the biggest thing of the weekend as far as sports go.
I'm kind of, give me some credit where if I don't know something, I'm not going to bet it. So I just didn't know anything about.
You bet on parlays.
So what? That doesn't mean I'm just going to throw random money on Triple G or Canelo. The odds were insane.
What were the odds?
I think the closing one was it was like
and everybody lost anyway because it was a draw.
Exactly.
So you're smart now.
Bet the draw.
Right. You wouldn't have bet the draw then.
No, of course.
No.
But I lost on college football, and yesterday I lost.
How much?
I only lost $150 this week.
Bro, it's bad, this
Hey,
gambling.
Troy, can you make a Google document or something? Can you start keeping track of Anthony's weekend losses? Because I feel like every week we come back and there's more numbers.
That's a great idea.
Getting thrown because I'd love to hit him with like his annual loss or something.
You know
at
what's
some
going to
point.
happen?
What?
He's going to end up coming up like $2,000 at the end of the year, and then all of your fans are going to turn into degenerate gamblers.
They're going to be like $2,000.
Anthony can do it. I got this. That's nothing. Yeah.
I already know that people don't really get what we're doing with Anthony here. They're like, oh, Anthony can't gamble, so they'll tweet him asking for his picks, and they'll just bet who he doesn't pick. So they're not saying that gambling is the problem. They're just saying that Anthony can't pick.
It's just bad.
Yeah, he's just bad at it. So, but you bet on the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
Yeah, but I've known.
Or was
watched,
that just for the odds?
Who'd you bet on?
I bet on. Of course, I bet on McGregor.
Not only. Wait till you hear this. Okay,
I should tell him the story.
Not only did I guess I'll tell him. Not only did he bet on.
I can't. This is the one time I subscribe to identity politics. There's the one time. I've never met a black dude that thought McGregor was going to win. It's only white dudes that thought McGregor was going to win.
And I don't know why. We know why. We know why, I guess. They'll never
beat up that black guy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Of course he wasn't going to win.
Bro.
But he goes...
Let me explain how much he wasn't going to win, then we'll get into it.
Yes.
And you're a betting man. He had to knock him out by what round?
For me to win?
No. What was the line? The line in Vegas was set at 9.5 rounds, which means the 10th round, right?
Yeah.
What round
10
did Mayweather knock out McGregor?
10.
You think that's a coincidence? Nope. That he got him out of there just in time to make his money? He bet on himself. They tried to turn down the bet, and I'm sure he gave money to a friend and said, hey, put some money on it. But like this was, from the jump, this was fixed. All right, let me make him look decent for a couple rounds.
But fixed in the sense that like Mayweather just made a decision of exactly when to end.
Exactly.
Not like McGregor was not in on it.
McGregor sucks at boxing. The idea that anybody gives him any credit at boxing, he has no power in a boxing ring, completely incapable of generating the power that he can generate from MMA. These MMA guys are great at MMA, but they suck at boxing. It's like when you take a rugby player and try to turn him into a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they look similar to sports, but they're not.
I mean, look, it's also, I've said for many years, I couldn't be more against multitasking. I think multitasking is the worst thing people do.
Okay.
What's MMA?
Multitasking.
What's boxing? Singular focus.
Boom.
There it is. That's your answer. But so, young shitloaf over here, he bets, not only does he bet on McGregor, but he has a parlay going on baseball. He thinks he's going to win the parlay, so real quick, he calls his bookie that night. He takes the money that he thinks he's about to win on his parlay.
Bookie was next to me.
He puts that money on McGregor as well. Then he loses the parlay anyway. Then he also loses the McGregor money. So,
how much were you down?
I was down around 450.
Did you pay him?
Of course.
Oh, so you don't gamble with money you don't have?
No. Yet. They keep thinking that I'm going to.
It will happen.
Probably.
It will happen, dude.
He's already
it's a dangerous situation.
He's already over there talking about, like, I know he's gone. He's used the phrase free money before. It's free money.
Free money, yeah. Well, Mayweather was free money. That's free money, and you bet the wrong one.
No, when he wins, the winnings, that's free money, so he'll just re-gamble it.
Oh, yes. You don't account for the losses. I see.
That's bad, huh?
Yeah, it's like when you're at the airport, like nothing really costs money.
Right, exactly. Let me get more snacks.
Yeah,
Let me get some.
This is free. Yeah, everything is included.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So where'd you lose money on this weekend?
I lost money on the Florida game. I don't know if anybody saw that.
No.
The spread was Rob did. The spread was 6.5. And it.
Listen to Rob laughing at him. That's great.
It was like 17-17 or 20-20, and it was about to go into college overtime, which is perfect because 6.5. All you got to do is score a touchdown.
So you're watching this is easy money for me.
Easy money.
Right.
With about 15 seconds left, Florida throws a Hail Mary. And the guy caught it in the end zone. No field goal, winner by 6.
So you lost that.
Lost that. Yesterday, took the Chiefs first half.
Yeah.
3.5. For some odd reason, they couldn't cover 3.5 in the first half. They only won by 3. Another loss.
Another loss because it was 3, not 3.5.
No, it was 3.5.
By the way, this is how you know Anthony's going to be in deep is because how old are you?
27.
He's 27 and he's betting halves in football. He's not betting the whole game. He's betting halves so that he can go into the next half with more money or less money.
Right. Yeah. Who bets halves except for like experienced gamblers?
And I parlayed the halves too.
You did? What was the parlay?
I had the Steelers first half.
By the way, did you know? The reason that I'm obsessed with this term.
Yeah.
Did you know I have no idea I never heard the word parlay before I started talking to you, Anthony?
That's great.
Like that's why I am obsessed with you and your parlays because I didn't even know what a parlay was until you came around. So what was your parlay?
It was that I had the Steelers first half. I had the Chiefs first half.
There's a parlay of halves?
Of course. Do you know why?
Why?
Easy money.
Easy money.
Easy money.
Easy money.
So what is it you get out of this?
Rush.
Have you ever watched sports without? That is it. Have you ever watched sports without gambling?
I can watch baseball without gambling, and I can watch football without gambling because it's a fantasy.
But it's not as fun.
It's not as fun.
There's a gambling element to fantasy.
Yeah. Correct.
So is there money on your fantasy team?
Hold on.
Come on.
Can we just back up for a second?
It's gambling.
It's gambling, yeah. But how do you watch the most boring sport in the world without gambling?
I don't know.
The only way I'd be able to watch baseball if I was gambling with my children's lives.
Yeah.
Not even my money. Money wouldn't make it, but I would have to be my kid's life was on the line. How?
I don't know, because I used to watch it when I was a kid and it never used to bother me.
Did your dad gamble?
No.
Your mom?
My dad fucking almost kicked the shit out of me once because he found out I was gambling.
How do you
Cat's
find
out
out?
of the bag now.
How do you find out you were gambling?
I was talking to my brother in the shower, and this is when I didn't really.
You guys shower?
No. He was in his room, and I was in the shower. Everybody
your brother shower together?
No.
But why give that
What the
detail?
hell?
Why not just say I was talking to
You're
my
right.
brother?
You're absolutely right.
We were
Yeah,
in the
my
shower
mouth.
talking.
Intimate detail.
Yeah. Was that before you guys had pillow talk?
Exactly.
Oh, you were
How
showering.
does this have to do with the story?
Troy,
Go
that
on.
sounded like he showers with his brother, right?
And he backtracked.
Yeah, but you think he's? Do you, Troy?
It's part of the story.
As a person, you know people.
That's nothing to do with the story.
Do you think that young Anthony showers with his brother?
He very well may. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, Anthony, so you're lubing up your brother. All right, what's happening?
You're soaping him down.
Yeah.
So he's in his room, and I can't hear what he's saying, and I'm in the shower, so I'm screaming, "Hey, do you like Cincinnati first half or for the game today?" And I don't hear what he's saying. And I'm like, "What about the Jet?" Like, I'm just literally screaming in the shower.
I can't hear you. Come in the shower.
Yeah. And like,
I can't hear you. Are you naked?
the shower. I shut the
Take
shower
your
off.
mouth off my cock, then I'll be able to understand it better.
Yeah, I can't hear you down there.
Go on.
Any more shower jokes? Anyway,
No.
so
No
I started
more.
screaming
No.
who to take, and my dad, after I got in my room, my dad got in my room.
What the
closed the
fuck
door.
are you two doing in there?
You think he was upset at gambling?
Yeah.
He was really upset that you and your brother were showering together.
Your brother was making you scream in the shower.
Man, I just can't help myself, can I?
Yeah, my dad really hates gambling, apparently. Yeah, he's really just anti-gambling. I don't know. He's like, yeah, I was blowing my brother in the shower. He just walked in. He's furious for some reason because we wanted to take the Jets in a parlay. I didn't understand what the big deal is.
Just reading everything wrong.
Yeah,
like, what?
He never gets it in life.
Just adds a little more excitement to the game, you know? His dad thinks he's talking about anal sex. He's talking about football. Was your dad more mad because you're Italian, right?
Correct.
Was it a gay thing or was it the brother thing?
Since there was no gay aspect of it, so I assume it's going to be the gambling.
It's not gay if you're related.
I said, was it the gay thing or was
incest? Always trumps.
That's what I was going to ask.
Sexuality.
Was it the incest or the gay thing?
He could have been pissed about the incest, but I don't think since this is a fake thing. Like I don't think
he's upset at the incest, obviously, but at the same time, you got to let him know. It's like, listen, you're proud of your family,
right?
Okay, you are proud of your heritage. You're proud of your genes.
And it's 2017. Gender is fluid, and so is family.
Exactly.
You know,
you're trans-Italian. You're not even really Italian. You're like Croatian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're trans Italian people will, have sex with their family.
They do.
Of course they do.
This is part of it. You could parlay that, actually, when you think about it. You could parlay a little incest.
Well, that's what he said to his brother. His brother was also a degenerate gambler, and he's like, I bet you won't suck this dick.
He goes, $100 I get you off in 2 minutes. Parlay that with the Chiefs. Parlay with the Chiefs.
He's trying to hold it in because he doesn't want to lose the bet. It's too good, bro. You're too good, bro. You're too good. You're too good, bro.
What is he thinking about to not come? What do Italians think about to not come?
I mean, I would say having sex with his brother in the shower, but that's obviously not going to work for him. Think about grandma. No, think about grandma. It's making it way worse. Yeah. I'm going to think about you have to think about not having sex with your brother in the shower, and then you won't come.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Imagine if I wasn't having sex with my brother in the shower right now.
Exactly. You can't open your eyes, because God forbid.
Yeah, because you'll see all the hotness.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough one, bro. So are you and your brother like a perfect fit?
It's not a real thing.
Because you guys are...
It's not a real thing.
Like, is his hole made perfectly for you?
Disgusting.
Did you notice it was just like when you finger his butt, is it like fingering your own butt?
It's all fake.
Like, oh my God.
I know my way around these parts.
Yeah, these assholes running the family.
This is like my butt.
This is just like mine. Who's bigger?
Shut up! It's not a real thing.
No, I'm asking you. Just tell me this. You know that. Who's bigger, you or your brother?
It's not a real thing.
But just tell me. Okay,
Who's got more of a salchicha?
Who's bigger? You know.
I don't know.
Come
on. Lying.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying to you. I've never stopped.
Here's a way we can figure out whose jaw hurts more after. Did you mute him?
Yeah, it's not a real thing.
Oh, it's not a real thing.
I don't know. I still think if you're gonna start the secrets, you gotta
what if we bet on who's bigger?
Yeah.
Would that help you?
Yes. Yes. Who's bigger soft?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Let's parlay the soft and the hard bet.
Right.
Who do you think is bigger? Who do you think is bigger hard and who do you think is bigger soft?
I want this conversation to end.
Well, you're lucky. We have to interrupt it because Maury Povich is outside.
Oh, thank God.
Holy shit.
Yeah. By the way, this actually we could get you and your brother booked, I think.
Definitely.
On Maury. Yeah, bring him in. Good. Don't you think we can get him and his brother booked on the show?
He must have had incest panels. Or
I'm sure. Maury Povich. What's going on, Maury? Sit down.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What's going on?
I mean, what's going on with you?
Huh?
20 seasons of this, huh?
Do you know the last time I saw you all?
When was that?
I think I saw you last year or a year before with Anthrax, the band.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You
yeah, I
were in the
remember.
Fishbowl.
I remember.
You used to have live performances here.
Yeah, we do from time to time here still, every now and then. This is Andrew Schultz, by the way.
How you doing?
Really, Andy?
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yes.
Where's Sam?
Right here.
Where's John? Jim.
Jim is he's in L.A.
Is he still working for you, or is he?
No, he still works here. He's just shooting.
Where he went to the Emmys?
Yeah, I don't think so. No, he's working on that for next year.
Live, man.
Yeah,
start the rumor.
He's shooting something
not
out there.
Good enough for the Emmys.
He's not. I don't know that he was nominated this year.
Really?
But he'll get there. He'll get there.
Yeah, we were nominated too last year.
Well, I was going to ask you, has your show ever been nominated?
Yeah, it was, and I don't go to those things because. No, because we always lose. So
just a waste of a trip.
No, I mean, years and years ago when I started the show, A Current Affair.
Yeah.
So I was working for Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
And the show was nominated, and I was the host, and it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Rupert said, I don't think you ought to go to these things. We're more interested in getting viewers, not awards. And I think he's thought about that ever since.
I mean, it's pretty genius. That's where the bread and butter is, isn't it?
It's, what are you going to do with an award?
So who? Yeah, I mean, it's the daytime Emmys, right?
That was the daytime.
So who beats you for Emmys?
Ellen or
get out of here with Ellen. I mean, you've created your a genre, right?
I know.
You deserve something here.
I mean, come on,
yeah,
Sam. I mean,
you give your life. Do you ever? I was talking about you earlier. Do you lose your faith in humanity at any point?
Oh, really?
Well,
is that how you look on it, Sam?
Well, I have to ask you because, we're looking at the episode schedule for this week. This is the big season premiere week.
Today is
the season premiere.
That's the big one, right?
You got to find Maury.
I guarantee you, it must have been DNA. I bet the first show had to be DNA. Right?
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
Come on.
This season, this week, today being one of them, 3 of your first 5 shows are DNA shows. Who's the father? When you realize...
By the way, they're terrific.
I bet they're amazing. I'm going to watch them.
I mean, don't you think we would put the best on the inaugural week?
You'd have to. But when you realize...
Why are you laughing, Andrew? I mean, what's your problem?
Because I was telling Sam earlier, I didn't know that you did not DNA episodes.
So I told Andrew that. I go 3 of the 5 shows. And then Schultz goes... So you mean to tell me that there are Maury shows that are not DNA shows?
I would be so pissed off.
He didn't know.
If I tuned in.
We got lie detector shows. You want some of those?
Lie detector about the father?
No. Well, could be, but lie detector about are you cheating on me?
It's great.
As long as it has to do in that, as long as it's in that space. I need infidelity. I need insecurity. I need these relationship
classic Shakespearean
That's
themes.
what I was going to say.
That's it.
You've taken the archetype. You've put it into a nice daytime television show. Of course. That's all you are.
I was watching
We actually killed what we consider to be daytime soap operas because it took them 6 months to get through something I can get through in 12 minutes.
Yeah. And when we get back,
you love it.
We're going to do it again.
But of course,
you're not tired of it. You don't
each story is unique.
It is.
Yo, this guy's wild. Boy.
It is.
I love it.
It is. Yeah, I was one of them. One of the episode titles from this week is something to the effect of, and Travis, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was something to the effect of which I'm a YouTube star. Who's the father of my baby or something?
Exactly.
Is that it?
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, we're actually. We're going to do something because social media is so important.
Right.
We are now going to take YouTube stars.
Yeah.
I get 1 million hits. I got 1 million views, whatever, and put them on the show and put them through lie detector tests and DNAs. We're going to do that.
It's perfect.
This is amazing.
But I had no idea there was paternity wars in the YouTube sphere.
Of course.
Everywhere, I guess.
Everything.
So here's what's going on this week. Okay. One of them. My sister cheated with 3 men. That's not your baby. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm not. So my sister cheated with 3 men. So that's a brother who's defending his sister against a guy who the guy's like, that's my baby. And the brother's like, no, my sister has slept with way more guys than just you.
Exactly.
You need to get out of here.
Right.
That's a great show. Okay. This next one is, I think today's. I think tomorrow's is, I have a secret. I've been dating you both for a year.
That's right.
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory.
And there are babies involved.
And babies.
Okay.
So the one woman, the wife, doesn't know he's been with the girlfriend. The girlfriend doesn't know he's been with the wife.
That's amazing.
So he spends days with one of the women and nights with the other.
And he thinks to himself, you know where I'm going to finally tell them? On the Maury show. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. They want to unburden themselves in front of a 78-year-old man.
Then you've got Wednesday. Wait to hear Wednesday, Schultz.
That's great.
Wednesday,
this, Andrew.
Yeah, you're just
I can take this on the road.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love how into it you are.
Listen to Wednesday's show.
Okay, tell me Wednesday.
4 women, 7 babies tested.
Yep.
Which man is the father? That's the title of an episode.
Wait, 4 women.
4 women.
Right.
7 babies tested.
Right. Well, they're not all the same story.
Which man is the father?
Right.
But still, you're sitting there and you're like, wait a minute.
We got 4 different stories.
But you're like, I'm going to get to go through 7 paternity tests on
Correct.
one show.
Exactly.
How do you not tune in? Right?
How can you not?
How can you not?
And let me tell you what is the clincher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the first moment I ever started doing DNA shows.
Yeah.
So my producers, you know, the way they brief you before the show, what are you going to do? And they go through the story. And here's the result. And I said, I don't want to know the result. What? I want to be as surprised as the guests, the audience, the live audience, the audience at home, because they followed this. They're all of a sudden.
Yeah.
In fact, guess what? Shaquille O'Neal, it's been said, watches my show every day and bets with his friends on who the father is.
Anthony, where's Anthony in there?
Anthony!
Has Anthony ever bet? We have
a degenerate gambler here.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of our staffers is
Anthony,
a degenerate
where's
gambler.
Anthony?
I would love to know.
I bet Anthony.
Yeah, I would love to know if he's ever.
I mean, think about that. I mean, they bet on balls and strikes and things like that in baseball.
Absolutely.
Why
Bet on
would
these
you bet
balls,
on
right?
this?
Yeah. Which balls did the baby get from?
Where have those been?
Right, exactly. Hey, Anthony, I got great news for you.
Oh, do you?
We were talking to Maury Povich over here. Do you know Maury?
I do.
Okay. We were talking to Maury, and you know what he told me?
What did he tell you?
He said that he goes. Sit down, make yourself comfortable. He said that.
Only took me 10 years to develop a career in radio.
He said that many people that he encounters, Shaquille O'Neal being one of them, gambles.
See?
On who's the father on the Maury show.
That's probably one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
life.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
I used to, this is going to be sad, but when I was little and I used to watch it, my grandmother used to she used to be like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I used to be like, oh, this guy's fucking definitely the father. If I put like $25 on it, if it was up to me. It's like 9 years
You would
old.
want to gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, it feeds right into it. Okay, the Thursday show. Thank you, Anthony.
You're welcome.
Thursday show is Mom, the test will prove your husband is a cheater.
Oh yeah, that's the lie detector show.
So that's like the daughter,
right?
And she's saying your husband. So it would have to be the daughter's saying her stepfather
right, is
cheating.
Should have never been with him.
Right.
He was a dog to start with.
Right. Right. And then finally, the big Friday show is Schultz, this is going to be your favorite one.
Okay.
I am a YouTube celebrity, but not your baby's father.
Hi.
That's great.
Love it.
Great.
I love it.
Yeah. First of all, we're bringing this guy on who's the big celebrity. Oh, and by the way,
who's it? PewDiePie?
The reason is that he thinks that all she wants is his YouTube fame. That's why she is accusing him of being the father of her child.
Right.
And I'm going, how much money do you make on YouTube?
Yeah, because there's a kid over here.
Wait, who's the guy? Can you say who the guy is?
No, I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, no, that has to be a secret, mainly because I have no idea. But these are real stories, right? Because there was very...
Oh, yeah. No, don't go there. I mean, we check these stories out. I mean, my producers, we have 7 production teams.
Yeah.
They all act as like a mini newsroom. They check these stories out. They talk to people in their town. They talk to all the relatives and the friends. Nobody's stiffing us.
I was very disappointed when I found out that when Jerry Springer's show kind of came clean that this was an entertainment show.
Well,
and I was like,
No, Jerry.
Yeah.
Look, I've known Jerry for 25 years, and Jerry is very truthful. He admits his show is wrestling.
Right. But your show is the real deal. So that's why I ask you about the question about losing faith in humanity. When you realize that, like, you can fill year after year after year after year that there are this many couples,
Sam,
with paternity issues.
This is part of the American fabric.
Right.
Don't you understand this?
Right.
This is not some weird somewhere.
Right.
It crosses all areas. It's a rainbow coalition.
Right.
Here. It's just not not one ethnic group or another.
No, you're right.
Group. It's every. In fact, I rest my case on this. About 4 or 5 years ago, the New York Times Sunday magazine came out with a story that said there's a survey: 10% of all kids are with the wrong father.
Yikes!
Wow.
How's that?
And you're there to clear that up.
Okay, here's
on many occasions.
Do you believe in? You're married. I see you have a ring on your finger.
Yeah, I'm married to the most beautiful, most I think, credible and the best journalist in the Western world, Connie Chung.
Oh, I didn't know that you guys were married.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no?
wow. Do you guys...
They've been married for a long time, too.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up on his marriage status. Do you guys believe in fidelity?
Why not?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you have an open
first
relationship.
of all, we got no. We dated a long time before we got married, and it wasn't exclusive.
So you were out there dropping dick off.
Well, I was.
Is that how you referred to it?
My wife would say. I never knew the last names of the women I dated.
Maury trying to get on his own show.
And she was dating Hollywood stars. What can I tell you?
Do you know any of the stars that she dated?
Yes, but I'm not telling you.
Did you ever get, even in the beginning, obviously now not so much, but in the beginning, were you jealous of these celebrities? I would be if I was...
Publicly, no.
Publicly, no. Gotcha. But you're a human being.
You're less jealous if you're not in a committed relationship at the time. So
Right. But I would think that, like, I would be in a relationship with this person who had dated celebrities and stuff, and at some point, like, we're committed now and everything's all good, but then those things creep into your head, like, you'd see the person on television or in a movie.
You've been there, Sam.
What? No, I just think about it a lot.
You do?
I think about it a lot.
Well, guess what?
What?
That's how you create tolerance.
You just deal with it.
What's the matter, Andrew?
I've never seen you so happy, man. You got to take such a serious tone on your show.
Season 20, man.
Yeah, and you got this jovial nature. It's great. I think we need to have like a Dancing with the Stars thing that you host as well.
No, they've talked to me about that before, but
actually dancing?
I mean, yeah, but
What about paternity Dancing with the Stars? We get the best. We get the best. You are not the father dancers together.
Why should I go with those B celebrities? What the heck am I doing?
Exactly.
You got Connie Chung, bro.
Exactly.
You don't need anything.
I don't need that. And guess what? She's a great dancer.
I bet. I bet.
We don't have to go into your private life. Okay.
But I want to know, was there ever a conversation like, Connie is this great newswoman?
Yes.
And you do what you do.
Right.
Was there ever a conversation about being a credit to journalism and questioning
well, first of all,
the validity of what you do?
I started in journalism, and I worked there for like 20 years before this gig. Right. Okay.
This isn't journalism?
But this is the picture you have to understand. So when we get invited, let's say, to a she social event, let's say at one of those East Side apartments that people have, and I go there with my wife, and all these media types, hover over Connie.
Right.
And just, how come you're not on these days? And we love you so much. You got to go back on. You got to do something. You got to do this. And I'm sitting there with my arms folded and I'm going, shit on this. I go to the kitchen and I'm beloved by everybody in the kitchen.
There it is. There it is. I feel like
know your audience, bro.
Yeah.
You got to know your audience. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated.
Yes. And you get this great gig, too, because like all these people probably don't realize that you got to be raking in millions and millions of dollars off this show.
Are you making like Judge Judy money?
No.
That had to drive you crazy. When Judge Judy comes out and she's like, yeah, I'm the richest woman in television. You're like, what? Judge Judy?
No, she is.
But
How crazy is that?
I underplay it.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
You underplay what? How
the only
off?
people who know how much money I make are the people at NBC who are pissed off.
Yeah, because it's not like you could throw... Because here's what's great about this, is like the fact that you are not the father, you are the father is your catchphrase.
Right.
Paternity tests are now associated with Maury, so it's not like they could just take the concept and move it to another show.
Absolutely.
They need to keep bringing you on.
Maury, why don't you sell pregnancy tests? You need a branded pregnancy test. Think about that. Who else would you buy? I'm not going to buy Tampax or whatever it is.
If you think of all the names.
Tampax.
Who sells pregnancy tests? I don't know. Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, but if you think of all the names. I got an idea, though. Okay. My executive producer had this great idea, Paul Fallhaber.
Okay.
And this was the idea. Can you imagine all the names I have to memorize on the show, and babies' names and this name,
it's incredible.
Those names, right?
7 babies on one show.
So we want to put out a Maury Show book of baby names.
Not as good as this pregnancy test, bro. I'm sorry. No.
Although, you know what I
need
like?
to do the pregnancy
You know
test.
what I like about the Book of Baby Names?
Oh my god!
It is
and it says it out loud instead of one strip for positive. It will literally say, "You are a father."
Yeah.
This is how we make money. Let's go in a partnership. I want to do it.
Here's what I like about the baby name book is that it is so distasteful because like it really because once you're looking at names of babies, like it's this warmth and you're definitely keeping the baby and it's like we're building this family.
Well, think about all the
and then
names.
there's Maury.
Think about all the creative names I have to learn on the show.
A lot of syllables. A lot of syllables. So when you realize
Not a lot of Franks. Huh.
when you realize, right, that there are men that will just do these amazing dances when they find out that they're not the father.
Right.
Are you sitting there like, oh my God, this is a gold mine. We have to do this forever.
I mean,
does anybody dance when they are?
One guy did like 3 backflips right on the stage, right in front of the poor woman. I mean, I got very upset at that.
Did you?
Yeah. And then, of course, how about the women? You know, they always seem when they're. Unfortunately, the guy they're accused is not the father. They run off the stage. They throw themselves on my sofa backstage.
Right.
And I go console them.
Right.
And tell them, don't worry, it's an honest mistake, and we'll bring back anybody you want if you want to find out the father of your child and all that.
Yeah.
So Tyler Perry calls me up, and he's doing a Medea movie. And Medea is going on the show, my show, to find out whether this guy is the father of her child.
Uh-huh.
She reenacts the entire running off the stage bit. Like Medea runs off the stage, falls down on the sofa.
And then you have your handhelds like,
It was great.
It's just amazing.
One of my shining moments.
Well, yeah. Do you realize that you've created something that is a cultural icon?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, what can I tell you?
For better or worse,
I
right?
know. I kind of backed into it, but what can I tell you?
Yeah, it really is. It really is incredible. Do you plan on just doing this for as long as possible?
I'm going to do it as long as it's sold, and NBC keeps selling it. I mean, I thought I was on my way to assisted living, but they seem to think.
Yeah.
Andrew's looking at me like he's nuts.
It's amazing.
Bro, I love you, man. I'm honestly so happy that we had this interaction. I had no clue you were coming in today.
Really?
I had no
left
clue.
it. I left it a
he left
surprise
it as a
for him.
surprise. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. And I'm so happy. Yeah, just it's great to see this side of you, man. We need an Instagram account for you. Just showing you smiling, happy all the time, enjoying your life with Connie Chung, hanging out with the waitstaff at the East Side dinners.
Have you ever had a person who comes on, right, to get humiliated, because that happens, and it's like, hey, fuck you, Maury, like you did this to me?
It's very interesting. No.
Really?
No, because, well, they'll say, for instance, on a lie detector test, that test's not right. I'm going to retake the test. I said, the test is 90%.
You let them know.
This is not my child. That paternity test is wrong. I said, that's 99.9% correct. They, those guys who keep denying, usually my producers backstage talk to them and we're filming it and finally they come clean.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I
and they
did.
want to start all over. And they say they're going to be good fathers, and we check up on them.
Yeah, do you?
Within a year later, we'll do it. We'll go and say, did this guy really? And some do and some don't.
How often do you keep up? Everyone that comes on?
Not everyone, but
right, because there's so many.
The ones that are really good stories, I do.
How many shows a season?
135.
Per season?
Yes.
135 shows?
Yes. Original shows. Yeah.
So how do you, what's the shooting schedule like on that?
Well,
are you doing it in Connecticut?
Yes, in Stamford at the Rich Forum. It's a big studio, and Springer and I and Wilkos all do it in the same
I've seen
studio.
It's got the neon thing out front and everything.
You've been up there.
I've been up to Stamford.
Okay. So I study on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I tape 3 shows on Thursday and 2 on Friday.
Oh, my God. You're doing 5 shows in 2 days. So you talk about memorizing, like, names and things.
It's my Alzheimer's check.
Yeah, I bet. Do you think, does it keep you? Because you're very, like, you're very, I couldn't believe when I read that you were 78.
Yeah.
Like, does working keep you
and as
being
my
active?
wife says, no work.
What do you mean?
I'm not like certain members of the Trump family.
Oh,
this is who you look like.
No surgery or anything.
No. This is
all natural.
No Botox, no little procedures.
So
why do you think the girls run back? What if, I've wondered
Because
about that.
They are convinced the guy's the father.
They really believe it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
No
now they have
question.
to deal with the disappointment of him not being the father
Right.
and feeling like a whore.
Right.
Yeah.
And then coming back another time, most likely, to test somebody else.
I love that they treat this like the doctor's office. Well, I guess I got to go back to Maury to figure out who the father is.
And then everybody,
you don't have to go to Maury.
And then everybody, and you know, she feels embarrassed, but at the same time, I think you're brave and courageous that you want to find. Look, you know as well as I do. You get two parents in a home, that child's got a heck of a lot better chance than one parent.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, and that's why they're doing it.
Right.
So, you know, all power to them.
Yeah. Where was I going?
With what?
A minute ago, right before you were asking
Oh,
about
my
why.
bad. I just really want to know about these girls that do that run. That's the fastest 40-yard dash in America.
Very good.
Yeah, they should. We should have like an Olympic event for Maury.
And some of them do it in heels.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Wow.
You know,
yes.
That's what I was going to ask you. I read an interview that you just recently did that Donald Trump used to call you and give you show ideas. Is this right?
He what he did was he used to watch.
Donald did.
Donald did.
Of course he did. What successful businessman isn't
Shaq
watching
just
Maury?
hanging out gambling over Maury
He's been
verdicts.
watching for years.
I love this idea that he's not sitting there watching CNBC.
No.
He's not watching like the finances.
Back then, he's got. I think I was in his office maybe once or twice. I mean, he had a bank.
He's got his own stock ticker.
He's got everything.
Right. But he's got Maury on the TV.
But he did. I mean, he was watching my show, and we bring this girl on, and she was suffering from a very rare disease, and he called up and he wanted to help, and so he wrote a check.
Wow.
So I mean, there's that side of him.
The Jesse sees something. You know, I tell you, that says two things. Number one, he can be a nice guy, but number two, he's highly influenced by television.
You think?
Yeah. I just love how much Donald Trump loves TV. Like he loves
You
TV.
know, I was reading a story today about a guy named Tucker Carlson, who's a conservative thing, and he was talking to Trump, and he believes that Trump uses TV as more an accurate view of the temper of the country than polling.
Well, after
thinks TV, what happens on TV,
right?
TV ratings. What they say on TV is more an accurate reflection of what's happening in the country.
You know what? You are
than polling.
You're the number one, I would think, person to ask about that. Based on your experience, do you think that you've got a better gauge of America based on your television show?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that I know a lot of issues because of my television show.
See, maybe
I know
there's
how
something
a
to
lot
that.
of people how a lot of people feel.
Yeah, maybe there's something.
He's
to that
100% right to not believe in the polling after what happened to him.
Well, that's true.
Right, why would you believe in the polling if you're
Although,
Trump?
who reported on the polling?
Say again?
Who reported on the polling?
The media.
The TV. Yes. So that's where you get the
but TV reported on it,
Right.
but it wasn't the people that were watching the TV. So I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
If like 50 million people are watching one program,
Gotcha.
you can trust those 50
Those
million.
demographics. I mean, I want to tell you, when he was doing The Apprentice, he knew all about ratings. He knew. I'm telling you, he knew. He knew. He would pick guests. I mean, he was pretty nimble when it came to TV.
Yeah. I mean, and The Apprentice is a great show. I loved that show.
What you
did?
mean? What you
Loved
mean?
it.
He would pick guests and
Like guest stars.
Which people he wanted on the show? Who would rate?
So
He cared about ratings more than anything else.
So you think he used this TV experience to help him at least?
I don't doubt it.
Really?
I mean, when you think about experience, you know, we always want to think about the experience that our presidents have.
Yeah.
His number one experience is television.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still do the phobia shows?
Once in a while still, but they still, I mean, to this day, the pickle lady.
It's hard to beat.
Wait, what?
This is a woman who was scared to death of pickles.
Okay.
So we brought a barrel of pickles.
Of course, as you would. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that?
And she's running running through the audience, trying to get away from the barrel of pickles.
Right.
What's the brainstorming session like when you're like, okay, how do we we got a woman who's afraid of pickles.
Is enough?
Right.
We got a woman who's afraid of pickles.
Right.
We're gonna bring a barrel of pickles on stage.
Oh, yeah.
How do we spin this so it's like we're helping her? Like, how do you?
Well, because we've got to see her in her worst moment.
Right.
We've got to bring her all the way down.
I see.
The bottom.
I see.
Of the barrel.
Of course.
Pickle
barrel.
In order to get an expert to go work with her so that later on she could put her hand in the barrel, pull out a pickle, and eat it.
Right.
Did she?
Yeah.
See?
Wow. You're
Changing
saving
lives. I'll tell you this. There's a comedian. His name is Jim Jeffries. You know Jim Jeffries, right, Schultz?
Yes, of course.
He is, and you should try to get him on your show because he's terrified of bananas.
Oh, okay.
Like if you have a banana in the room with Jim Jeffries, he'll run out of the room.
Why?
Terrified of them.
But why?
Don't know. It's just one of those psychological things. He's just terrified of bananas.
We had one woman who was scared of cotton balls.
I remember her.
And so we dressed up an intern with cotton balls all over us.
They brought out a cotton ball man to go, oh, cotton balls. Like, I mean, it seems like it's cruel and unusual. Now, how do you stop yourself from laughing like this?
You don't.
You don't. You just let it happen.
Yeah. The most laughable moment on air was I'm doing a show with a lie detector.
Yeah.
And this woman is accusing her boyfriend of cheating on her and disappearing at one time on 3 different occasions. And he comes on and says, I have you have to understand this. I was kidnapped and put into the trunk of a car on 3 different occasions.
Listen to Maury.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
Okay.
I mean,
because who gets kidnapped?
I had heard every excuse in the world but being kidnapped 3 times.
You loved it. How much do you love your job?
It's very good.
You love it.
It's great.
I can't believe it.
I mean, people say, "How can you put up with that?" I said, "Are you kidding?" It's great.
Yeah. You know, where do you live in Connecticut, or
No.
Where do you live?
I live right in the middle of the city.
So you get to leave
and I drive up there. I drive up there twice a week to do the show, and I like to drive. Everybody says, "Well, you must have a driver." I said, I'm a driver.
Right.
I drive.
Right. You drive.
I drive.
30 million a year.
Not a chance.
I'll tell you why you like to.
Oh man, I gotta.
You know why he likes to drive?
Why is that?
A lot of money you save on a driver if you drive yourself. That's going right in the pocket. Well, listen, I think
it's absurd.
All that driver money goes to making more cotton ball suits. Listen, Maury, we got to let you go. I would spend all my time with you.
Oh.
You're the greatest.
But you're good.
You're good. I mean, we all know that. You're the best. You're a legend.
You, sir. Yes,
you got to watch.
Is this going to be memorable?
Oh, dude, this was fantastic.
You got to watch Maury season 20. Season 20
today starts today.
Starts today. I've already told you what's going on all week. I mean, this is going to be an amazing season. There needs to be more shows like they're not so precious and worried about everything. It's like, let's do what we do well.
None of this PC crap.
None of it. None of it. Thank God Maury's still around. We'll be right back with Andrew Schultz. You can catch us on demand all the time. You can also get our podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. If you search Jim Norton and Sam Roberts on iTunes or SoundCloud, you'll be able to find it there. Not an issue. As well as the YouTube channel. Speaking of the YouTube channel, our interview with the Insane Clown Posse just went up over the weekend. And shout outs to everybody at the Juggalo March. It was very, very successful.
Yeah, what was that about?
So Andrew Schultz is here, by the way. Andrew, you can get his comedy experience on YouTube. It's perfect for YouTube. It's about 16 minutes long. Andrew had a camera crew follow him to two camera crews. Excuse me. Follow him to 4 different clubs, comedy clubs here in New York, just to get the experience, the essence of what a New York comedian does. And you can watch the whole thing for free on YouTube. So check it out and share it.
YouTube.com/TheAndrewSchultz. It's 441. Yeah, it's free. Just check it out, share it. That'd be amazing, man.
So
hopefully I'll be famous enough where I can go on Maury's show as a YouTuber that is trying to be extorted.
How great was Maury?
Bro, it's just an unbelievable. He's a star. I was telling you during the break. I mean, he's just a star. Unbelievable attitude. Everybody in the studio came in after he left and said the exact same thing about him.
Just the best.
What the best? What a great guy.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I don't know what the hell it is. I think we were talking about it. It's something about being. There's something comforting about not wanting anything.
Yeah, just being cool. Just being cool with where you're at.
Just being content.
Yep.
Right. And it's, obviously we're in entertainment, right? We constantly want more. What can I do to get more? How can I, okay, you have a radio show at night. How do I get the morning show? Okay, now you get the morning show. How do I get syndicated You keep on growing.
Right.
And there's something about him which is just, he's so fine with where he is. And it's comforting because he doesn't want anything from you.
No. Yeah, I'd love to get there.
Yeah. I worry though, if that's the constant worry, right? It's like it's easy to get there when you're worth fucking $300 million, whatever he is, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're content now, do you work hard to get where you want to be?
I don't know. Well, luckily I'm not there now, so I can't tell you. But so the Juggalo March that went down.
Yeah, what was that about? They're a gang now or something?
Well, in 2011, the FBI put out this list of. It's the only time they've ever done it, and the only time they've done it since.
Yeah,
a list of groups that they classified as gangs.
Okay,
the Juggalos who are on there.
Why?
Because they were like the Juggalos, they group together, they cause violence. They're represented by the Hatchet Man, the clown with the hatchet. That's their logo.
Okay,
like they're a gang. They're a straight up gang. And the Insane Clown Posse is like, well, that's horse shit. That's like calling the Kiss Army an army.
Right.
They said that's like calling Jimmy Buffett's Parrot Heads a gang.
The what?
The Parrot Heads.
I don't know what that is.
If you like Jimmy Buffett,
nope.
Then you're not a parrot head.
Is he country?
No, not really.
Well, I don't like him.
No, there's a little crossover, but not really. But yeah, it's just like taking this fan base and calling them a gang. And their real problem was they were in here on, I think, Thursday, and they were talking about how when you're gang affiliated, there are laws that make it so that, like, if you get busted with weed, for instance.
Yeah, it's a bigger crime.
It's a much bigger crime. If you're trying to get custody of a kid, if you go through a divorce.
The kid thing is where it's tricky, yeah.
And that's like, because people get an Insane Clown Posse tattoo on them. And then all of a sudden, that's a gang tattoo.
It's like having a blood or Crip tattoo on your arm.
And boom. And then they told us, too, that towns, like small towns, get government funding if they have gang issues to deal with. So if there's nothing going on in a small town but a bunch of juggalos drinking Faygo, now all of a sudden they have a gang problem and they can get funding.
So they're just lobbying for funding.
Right. And so the Insane Clown Posse marched on Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And they were, oh my God.
What?
Dragnet.
What, the movie?
Yeah, or the TV show or whatever.
I don't know.
Well, there's an Insane Clown Posse song, and the lyric is "Magnets, how do they work?" And somebody at the Juggalo March has a sign that says "Dragnets, how do they work?"
I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now.
It's just funny. But yeah, so they came out in big numbers. There were supposed to be a big Trump support rally in D.C. over the weekend.
Yeah.
And there were way more juggalos than Trump supporters. So I don't know. I hope and they had Clown Lives Matter signs. Which is great.
Yeah, I guess get together. Do you care about the juggalos?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, well, look.
I care about liberty. I think you should be able to do whatever you want. I care about freedom of assembly, right? I'm kind of a constitutionalist in that way. But at the end of, why are they calling you a gang? Something must have happened. It doesn't happen out of nowhere.
Well, I'm sure that there's been juggalos have perpetrated violence, but I'm sure...
And if they do it in the name of being a juggalo, then...
But couldn't I do that in the name of a juggalo, and then all of a sudden every juggalo is just a bad person now?
I mean, all right, let's chalk it up to, like, terror.
So juggalos are terrorists now, not gangs.
I'm just saying, what is your attitude towards terror, right? If you got to keep the same energy, dog. If you're going to say, hey, we can attribute these terrorists to Islam,
that's why,
then you attribute
But I'm not attributing terrorists to Islam.
Never.
That's why there's Islam extremists, Muslim terrorists. That's why both words are important. That's why I can't sit there. If I'm a Muslim, I'm not taking responsibility for that guy's behavior.
And so there's clowns, and then juggalos.
Well, you could have juggalo
extremists or juggalo extremists.
If you're going to say he's a juggalo extremist,
and the
then
juggalo doctrine has nothing to do with the extreme behavior.
No, and I would say, okay, you are bastardizing juggalodom.
Juggalodom. Okay.
Yeah, like that's not what the juggalos are about.
As long as you got the same energy, I'm cool with it, man. I'm a big consistency guy.
I'm with you.
Got to be
and
consistent.
you'll find me to be extremely consistent.
Good. To a fault. Consistency gets you in trouble.
I'm stubborn and consistent.
There you go.
I'm a highly intelligent being.
I know.
So, I mean, look, you know what juggalos want? Bunch of Faygo.
Faygo, I don't know what that is.
And
is it a type of alcohol?
Nedden.
Huh?
Nedden.
That's right. Faygo is a store brand soda that's mainly sold in the Midwest.
Okay.
Right, but it's very very cost effective.
Gotcha.
So that's why a lot of like in Detroit, Faygo is huge. They also, I mean, they want a car full of fat bitches. You know what I mean? That's what juggalos are all about.
Okay.
Fucking fat bitches, drinking Faygo, painting up, clown love.
Painting up. That's a term.
Well, they paint up like the clown, like clown love.
Okay.
I mean, look, here's the thing, Schultz.
Yeah.
Something about doing this show is
I don't know.
We got mad clown love here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Mad clown love.
No juggahos in this place.
Right.
What's a juggaho?
It's like a fake juggalo.
There are people that want to be a juggalo, but aren't juggalo enough.
That's right.
They say they're down, but they're not really down.
How do you prove
if you want to be a juggalo?
First of all, do you know how depressing it would be
to prove you're juggalo?
To prove and then fail. Where do you go then?
You got to be down with the clown till you're dead in the ground to be a juggalo,
bro.
You'll get there. You got there with country.
No,
we'll get you there.
No.
We'll get you there.
Yeah, I guess I should be more open-minded about this. At least people need community. They need something. You know what I mean?
You got the USA on your denim jacket right now.
All day, baby. Let's go.
You know what the USA is about?
Yeah.
A place where juggalos can be free.
You know me. I'm with it. I support it. Personal accountability.
Right.
I'm okay with it. That person should be accountable for his bad juggalo actions.
I got White Zombie's logo tattooed on this arm right here.
Do you?
Yeah. What happens if White Zombie, Rob Zombie people are like, oh, now you guys are a gang? I'd be like, fuck.
That's why you don't get people's names and faces tattooed. You don't know what they're going to do.
It's too late for that.
Somebody has a Cosby tattoo.
You're right.
There are tons of people with OJ tattoos.
No, you're right. You're right.
You don't know what these people are going to do with their lives.
There are people with tattoos that say "Let the Juice loose." Like there are people who already knew.
I thought you said "Let the Jews loose." I was like, "Wow."
I didn't say that. You can get Andrew Schultz's special over at youtube.com/theandrewschultz. It's called 441. Look it up on YouTube. It really is an amazing, amazing experience, and I recommend it highly to everybody. And make sure you share it too. That's the point, right? We're giving out content here for free. So make it work. Get it out there. Get it to the people.
I would love the Juggalos if the community would come together, man.
I'll talk to the Juggalos for you.
Honestly, talk to the Juggalos. Yeah. I think that they would appreciate it.
I'm not saying I'm a full-on Juggalo, but I am an advocate for the Juggalos.
Absolutely.
You're a Juggalo enthusiast.
I am a Juggalo enthusiast.
Wait, are you into the culture, or you just think that they should be able to have their own culture?
Both.
Oh, you're into it.
All right, we got to go.
All right, fine.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Bye.